God.
All right, and we're live. What's up, everybody? I'm the DG Picker. My name is Jordan, and I sell on Amazon, Mercari, Poshmark, eBay, a little bit of everything. And tonight, it's going to be a fun show. And I'm going to introduce my main man, Alex, FATMAN the Flipper. Say what's up, man.
What's up, man? What's up, everybody? My name is Alex, FATMAN the Flipper, your friendly neighborhood FATMAN, and welcome back to another Saturday night edition of New Resellers Unite, because this is your night. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Say what's up, Oscar.
What's up, everybody? My name's Oscar El Cubanazo. Probably remember for a couple of videos that I've been in with Alex, FATMAN the Flipper. I sell on eBay, Amazon, Mercari, and a little bit now on Poshmark.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
What's up, everybody? My name's Tiffany, Eat Sleep Amazon. I sell on eBay and Amazon, and I'm dabbling in Poshmark and Mercari.
Your Eat Sleep Amazon. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because you made a comment on one of my videos today or yesterday. I didn't know.
And our favorite guest right now, Steve Alcorn. Steve, tell us a little bit about you.
There ain't much to know. I'm just a typical Amazon eBay seller, and I've been doing it for, well, full-time for about 3 years now, eBay, and since September on Amazon. So that's about it.
Don't let him lie to you. He's a wealth of knowledge.
People tell me that. I'm not sure. I try, man. I try.
All right, so what's up, everybody?
We all fell asleep there for a second.
Sorry, I'm answering text. People's like, "Where's the show at?"
It's supposed
Not
to be
on Alex's channel.
Show. That's not how that works.
Hey, how about this? Hey, everybody, why don't you go to your Facebook if you want? You can go to your Facebook or your Instagram and post a little link out there and tell everybody to come join us tonight. Let's get this thing packed up. Let's get it packed up so we can get wild.
Listen, people, hit that bell notification down below so you know when Alex is going live. It'll come up on your cell phone. It'll come up on your YouTube. It'll come up everywhere, and you guys will know.
Dude, I literally, like, from setting my phone down earlier when my daughter was in here, my phone is completely covered in glitter.
Oh my God, that's great.
Oh, it is the whole screen. I just see it shimmering right now.
Did she have like glitter on or something?
No, it's in her Barbie swimming pool where I had my phone sitting on this Barbie dream house, and it slid down the slide into the pool, and it's just all glitter.
That is great.
Oh, it's terrible. It is terrible.
So how's everybody doing out there? Let's see, who do we got here tonight? Who do we got here tonight? We got we got FATMAN the Flipper. He's up there in the top. We got
who's that?
We have El Cubanazo. Everybody say it with me. El Cubanazo.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
You got Man Mountain Link. What's going on? Money from Mars. What is up? Frontier Flipper. What's up, Deidre? How you doing, Deidre? Glad to see you. Cleveland Picker, what is going on? Cleveland, Ohio. Look, I got a Cleveland shirt right up there. Look. Oh no, that's
Steve. We got competition.
Cincinnati. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll take some competition.
Hey, I only got it because of you guys. BJ, what's up, BJ? Farming Picker.
I'll take some competition.
Hey, Kimmy's here too. What's up, Kimmy? Awesome. So yeah, so what are we talking about tonight, guys?
Your processes.
Processes.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. Hey, John, what's going on?
And John Nevermore Antiques in the chat. Hey, John. Processes. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I know everybody looks at me and they know. I mean, I'm on the morning show with Scott and all that stuff, and I'm still learning too. So this, even by watching you guys, I learn things from you guys, even though you're new, right? So I think that everybody can learn something from everybody else, and that's why Jordan asked me to be on the show last night, and I said, "Sure, man, I have no problem with that. I watch you guys every Saturday night." So, but as far as processes, I'm still learning, and it's not an easy thing when you come from a background like me where everything gets put off to the last second, you know. So if you guys got any tips and tricks, let me know.
Well, I
Yeah.
know. Go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put together a system of, getting everything organized, like some type of system for once I have items sourced, my listing them, if I'm polybagging, and then sending shipments out, and then storing them, and trying to get a little bit organized, because I feel like if you have a system in place and you're more organized, you're able to be more efficient with your time. And in my case, time is something that I don't have a lot of, because I work a full-time job Monday through Friday. I go to school, virtual college, and whenever I have any extra time, I try to spend that with my family. If not, I'm trying to find some products or another source of income, to better my situation. So that's where I am. I'm trying to find some type of system or process, and I know that maybe some of you may or may not have a system in place. So I'm also looking to see what I can learn and pick up to organize myself a little bit better.
Well, it was like we were talking. We weren't live, but we were talking in a hangout, and we were talking about how I do everything, as far as like my T-shirts and my clothing and shoes, and how I have everything like laid out. As soon as I take my pictures, the shirt gets folded up. I put it in a poly bag, throw it on the scale, get a weight, and then I write on a piece of tape what it is, what the size is, everything like that. It's all labeled. Slap it on there, and I throw it in a tote. But I write it out on a piece of paper, and it's all right there. So when it sells, I just dig it out of the tote, reweigh it, make sure the weight's correct, throw it in a poly mailer, and out the door it goes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we got on the topic of process, because like Oscar was saying, he's like, you have your process down. You have a very solid process, and I try not to break my own process. So everything I sell, gets clothing wise, shoe wise, is poly bagged, ready to go for shipment.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do, because I saw the way that you had your setup from, well, if anybody who's seen the other shows also, or any of the other Resellers Unite videos, you can see in the background when you're in your garage how you have everything organized with totes, and then you mentioned to me how you had all the clothes lined up, and then all the crates with boxes. I mean, I have a semi-organized chaos going on. I have a lot of computer electronics. I have a bunch of books now. I have Kindle cases. I have iPad cases. I have random toys. So I'm trying to get a little bit organized, and I'm limited on space. My office here in my house is 11 by 11. I have no space in my garage for anything because I have an old Volkswagen in there, and I've been considering.
Whoa! Did you just say an old Volkswagen?
Yes.
What kind, man?
No, it's not that old. It's
No.
2004. No,
Well,
no,
that ain't old at all. Go on. I'm the Volkswagen king, man. See that?
I love Volkswagens.
Anyway, go on. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but you said Volkswagen. I have to stop the show when somebody says Volkswagen. Go ahead.
And no, believe me, I completely understand. I'm looking for a Mark I Rabbit. That's But yeah.
No room in your garage. There you go.
There's no room in my garage for anything because of the semi-old Volkswagen. And
like a baby.
I'm considering looking for a shed storage unit, so I can start moving products, because my whole closet now is full of a bunch of old monitors, that I've been selling steadily on eBay. And as those things continue to come, and I get, I go on garage sailing or estate sales, and I find new products. All of it becomes, a chaos. So that's where I am. I'm trying to organize myself like what Jordan has. He's got everything, labeled. He keeps records of what he has. Maybe an Excel sheet will work for me. So I just wanted to see what other processes or systems of staying organized everybody else has, to see if I can pick up on a couple of things. And watching Jordan, and what me and Jordan were talking about last week, I started thinking, that would definitely help me organize myself and my time a lot better.
I think some people naturally are organizers, and it sounds like Jordan is one of them, but some of us are not.
I'm actually very messy.
Really? Now, my wife, she keeps everything nice and neat and organized, and if it weren't for her, man, I'd have death piles all over the house, right? So the main process that we use isn't necessarily how we put things away, but it gets done, So yesterday I went to rummage sales, yard sales, and all that. It's all listed already. If I don't list it the first or second day, then it just starts to pile up. So the first goal in my process is to get it listed. Now, when it gets listed, it goes in a bin. My bins are all clear, but nothing's labeled. So my wife's like, well, how do you know where everything is? I said, I just know, because I put it there, but not everybody's like that. So some people need labels like Jordan, and some people don't. Now, if I was mainly into eBay, I'd have to label everything, but I'm not now. So, and I'm also balancing two platforms. And of course, Amazon takes up a big portion of my time. So it's hard for me to work on the process for eBay when I have the Amazon stuff going on too. But I need to get better at, when I first started, I did put all my clothing went in bags and got labeled, and I wrote right on with Sharpie, like the, they're not clear poly bags, but the big, the ones you ship them in, those kind of poly bags. Yeah. Nowadays, it just gets put in a tote, and it's sometimes I feel like I'm going backwards on that stuff, because nowadays I get it listed quickly, it goes in a tote, and I forget about it until it sells. So if you guys have a better system than I do, then that's great. But I certainly don't. Certainly don't. Now, Amazon's a whole different animal. You have to keep everything organized, and because you got to label it all. I mean, Amazon, I do have a definite system for that. eBay, I do not.
I think it's easier with Amazon to have a system, because you're not, if you're doing FBA, you're not storing your inventory, for the most part, unless like you bought something and you're going to sit on it until the price goes back up or something.
And also we talk about process, first, of course, you have different platforms. You have eBay, you have Amazon. So there's different processes when it comes to that. But then it's also like, when I think of it, I also think of it as the different processes in everything you do. So there's a different process for what you do with inventory versus the process you do with listing versus the process you do with shipping. You get what I'm saying?
Sourcing.
Yeah, like with what Jordan was saying, he has all those processes almost combined, right? He gets his stuff, he lists it, he gets it ready for shipment halfway, and he stores it, and then when the he basically explained all his processes right there. But then when you talk about like Amazon, you have that the whole thing there too is how do you list? Do some people use Inventory Lab? Other people use Seller Central.
I should not be allowed to read the chat. Sorry.
What's going on in the chat?
No, just Jordan being funny.
Nah, I see a few funny. I see a few jokes there. Well, yeah, so it's different processes with everything. You know what I'm saying? Even with sourcing, everybody has the way they source. I know, like, and like with going with Oscar to these yard sales every Saturday, I see the way he goes after stuff and the way I go after stuff. You know, the way you kind of talk to people to negotiate and the way you don't. You know, like there's different processes with everything.
I guess if you think about it, when I walk into a yard sale, I have a definite way I go around. So the free box is my first stop every single time. If it says free on it, that's where I'm going. And they usually put it right out front. So that's where I stop. Then I go to the left. I walk all the way around, and then I come around the right, do a quick look over, and then I go through more detailed. So even at a yard sale, you have a process, like you said. And when I go into a retail store for Amazon, I know what I'm looking for. So that goes first. I go to that item first, and then I start looking around, you know, item or items. Sometimes there's several, depending on where I'm going and what I'm looking for retail arbitrage. So you go to that item first, you pick that up, get that in your cart or basket, or if you're just carrying it by hand, like a lot of people do. And then you go and start scanning some other things. And my wife and I have decided that our process was going into a retail store. So we know what item we're looking for. And then we find, let's say, a second item that we weren't looking for. So when we find that second item, now we scan 5 up, we scan 5 down, and 5 to each side. That way we know that the 5 products around that are either good or bad. So now we have 5 more potential items all the way around that one item we just found. So that's a process too. Another process that we do. So there are I mean, I do work on processes. Don't let me tell you I don't. My processes are just more like Oscar's there, organized chaos.
Right, and that works sometimes for some
Sometimes,
people, you know.
right? With my eBay stuff, it works great. With the Amazon stuff, it doesn't work as good. I have to have a set process.
I agree with you right there. My eBay was extremely organized chaos, and then I had to move it because we're having my daughter's birthday party this coming weekend in the garage, and my garage is basically my warehouse now. And so I've had to move everything that I had strategically placed into a whole nother section of my garage. And now I'm like, my mind is kind of blown as to where everything is, because I had it memorized where it was, what tote it was in and everything. And now it's all just kind of everywhere. It's just chaos all over the place right now. But the clothing is still good. We haven't screwed all the clothing up, and that's my biggest seller. So I should be okay.
Next time when I come down to your area, I'm going to bring all my unlisted clothing inventory and give it to you, because I hate clothing.
Oh man,
Dump it on them.
There's some good stuff, man. There's some good stuff.
Like we were talking the other night, and I was like, I love shoes, and they're just kind of like, what? And I'm like, I love shoes. I love taking pictures of shoes. Clothing so much, not so much, but it sells. You can make good money on it, and I like money, so I'm going to sell some clothes.
Well, I bought this shirt back here is a Pendleton, but it's full of mothballs. But I bought another Pendleton shirt, and you guys know Pendleton sells, if it's the right stuff, the shadow plaid, the vintage, all that stuff. The shirt's going to list for $50 and probably sell 45, 50 bucks, somewhere around there. But I just hate listing clothing. Now, when I do clothing, I definitely have to have, like you said, a process. There has to be, I have to take all my pictures and do all my measurements before I ever list it. I mean, there is a definite process, because if you do clothing, you understand real quickly that it's a very time consuming thing, and you have to do it a certain way or you forget things. Like I'll forget to take measurements. And so I'll list all these, then I get 10,000 questions about measurements, that kind of thing. So with clothing, man, for me, it's not my desire to do it anymore. But man, there's some people who love it and can make a lot of money, but you definitely have to have a process with that stuff. Definitely. Not necessarily a process of putting it away and, storing it, but your listing has to have a process to it. Because if you don't, man, at least for me, I get just so worn out doing. I only have 2 items to list of clothing right now, and I'm just putting it off because I hate it so bad, you know. So now if I have 20 items, I'll take it all and do that all day. You know, that's the only thing I list that day. So that's the process I use is I'll take the photos. Each item gets measured. That item gets put away. Then the next one gets photoed, measured, put away, photoed, measured, and then a listing after that. So that's the process I use, but I still hate doing it. I just don't like it.
That's what I do. The same with not just clothing, but shoes. I do that same process.
And
it gets photoed, measured, throw it in a box, weighed, everything, poly bag,
Right.
everything. And then I while all the photos are uploading, I weigh it, enter all that information in, and then it get, everything. And then I put it away, label it, write it down, put it away. Once it's up, off to the next one. And I'll try to knock out 10, 15 pairs of shoes at a time. Then I'm bored.
What I
have to move to another
what I
thing.
can tell you is when I first started, I was a lot more into clothing because it's be honest, it's the low-hanging fruit. We all start somewhere, and a lot of us start with clothing. And what clothing taught me is the process of starting a listing. So now I know that even with, like, I listed this today. It's just a little Hot Wheels thing. But I did it in the same process as I do the clothing, except for measurements. That's the only thing that's different. So you take the photos, I set it to the side, then I take the next set of photos. So now because of the clothing, that it taught me how to list on eBay. So if you want to start somewhere, clothing is actually a great place to start because it teaches you more. You have to be a little bit more clear and concise with clothing than you do with other items sometimes.
But like we've said though, a lot too is not only does it make you like better as eBay, but selling on Amazon makes you a great eBay seller.
I agree.
For the processes you have to go through to sell on Amazon and just the packaging for FBA, you're just so used to doing it with Amazon that when you do it for eBay, it's just like a no-brainer. And then people get this stuff and it's like, whoa, this is such like superb packaging. It's well overpacked and all this stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. I always get positive feedback about packaging.
I do as well, and speedy shipping. So I do one-day handling on eBay, but I always get it out, almost always get it out same day. And people are just amazed at even that one day makes a huge difference in people's minds. So my eBay listings say you'll get it on May 6th, but they got it on May 5th, and it blows their mind. They're happy. Yeah. You get good feedback. I'm still at 793 feedback on eBay right now and 0 negatives.
Yeah, I have I think as of now I have like 441, 0 negatives.
Yeah. And it's because you go that extra mile. Yeah.
332, 0 negative. Yeah. But what I do is I have it 3 days handling time, but I always send it out on the first day.
Yeah, I have 2. And since I have a JOB, I have 2 2-day handling time because of my JOB. And but it's like even if it's like 12:30 at night, like if somebody were to buy something right now, I'd be after this live show, I'd be out there in that garage and I'd package it, have it ready to go, have the label on it, ready to ship Monday.
Typically, for me, if something sells, my post office closes at 5 on weekdays and noon on Saturdays.
Same here.
Unless it's small, because they're actually working till 5 on Saturdays, so I can drop it in a blue box. My postal workers, and I know a lot of people have issues with the post office. I do not. They are great people. They know me by first name because I'm in there just about every day, and I know their family issues. They know mine, that kind of thing, because we talk. And so they're great to me. If you're good to them, they'll be good to you, that kind of thing. So if it sells before 5 o'clock, let's say 4 o'clock, I have it there by 5 because I want my customers to be happy. And so it gets shipped out same day. And it doesn't take very long to package the stuff I sell, you know. So in your clothing, you already have it pretty much prepackaged, so that's easy to do.
Yeah.
So if you have chance to get it out quicker than the customer expects it, you're always probably going to get good feedback. You'll get it every once in a while. I had an item the other day where the customer bought it and they thought they were supposed to get 16 of an item, and it was only one. And he's like, "You charged me $50 for one item." I'm like, "But the number 16 is the name of the product, not the, you know." So there's people out there who just don't know how to read, I guess. I don't know. But so you'll have that every once in a while. Unhappy customers every once in a while. But if you do your job good, 99.99% of your customers are going to be happy. And so far, that's been my experience. Even on the returns, I don't have an issue with them. So it's always, because I take free returns. I know a lot of people are against that, but whatever. Y'all run your business. 60-day free returns, and I have not had one customer yet send it back for the wrong reason. Let's say, you know, item not as described or whatever, because I take free returns and they know it. And so no problem. And so I just take it back. And so my first thing on eBay and Amazon is the first thing you got to be is a good customer service representative for your own self. And that'll take you so far. And I went from not even knowing how to sell on eBay to being a full-time eBayer, you know, pretty quickly. Now I've been selling off and on eBay for years, but since 2099, but just hobby, but never getting a negative feedback because I go that extra mile. And I'm not bragging on myself or anything. Anybody can do this, you know, good packaging, quick service, and take care of your customer. That's all you got to do. And you'll be successful at this. It's not that hard. There's no rocket science to it.
Yeah, that's also part of the process too, you know.
Yeah,
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, and the other thing that I was thinking about was because I'm realizing my situation as well. You know, don't be afraid to change your process. So like as a new seller mind state and the whole learning process, right? Don't be afraid to change it up. You know, if something's not working for you, something needs to change. So you need to, you know, be able to adjust and until you finally find what works for you. Because like for Joe, you know, might not work for me. You know, he has maybe like more space. You know, it's just different for him than it is for me. Also, like our time schedule. You know, like he works, I work. But you know, it all depends on your situation. But definitely test it out, work on it, see what's good for you and what's not good for you, and just work on it. You know, and change it up if you have to.
Yeah, I mean, you always got to throw some bobbers out in the water and just see what happens.
And failure is okay. Failure makes you learn more.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I can't remember
a lot of lessons.
Right. I don't know who said it, but somebody just today I was watching, I think it was Mommy Income that Scott did an interview with Mommy Income the other day. And I think she said it, that failure is the first step of success. You have to fail in order to succeed. And so like you'll go into, let's say, I mean, most of your listeners are probably eBay sellers. So they'll go into a Goodwill and won't find anything. That's okay. You know, that's okay. Because you went in there, you looked, you tried, you learned what not to buy that day. Right. So it's not a failure. It's the first step of success. And to me, that's, I think even for me as a full-time seller for the last couple of years, I was afraid of failing. I was so afraid of it. But once I got over that fear, you know, things just rocketed out of control for me. You know, I don't know. I'm not going to say my numbers or anything, but I'm doing pretty good for myself right now. Let's just say, because I wasn't worried about failing anymore. I took the chance, I took the leap, and I just went for it. And we're doing pretty good with it. And we're trying something. We're going to follow the stuff that Mommy Income talked about. My wife wants to get into the bundling and stuff. We're going to try it, because why not? If you don't try, you don't know.
Right.
If you don't try, you're not going to succeed.
Right. You can't ever succeed if you don't try. She's intense, so we're going to do it. I'm still scared of it, but that doesn't mean we're
Literally,
not going to
as
do
soon
it.
as they were talking about like bundling, I was literally like looking stuff up. Like, what?
Yeah,
can I
same
bundle?
here. Same here. I
I
was
got off the chat and I was like, what can I bundle?
yeah.
I watched
I was-
Craigslist Hunter today, and he said something about, people will pass up a $20 item even though you can sell it for $90 because they're afraid of that $20 investment. Don't be afraid of that $20 investment if you're going to triple your money on the doggone thing, that kind of thing. And that's where I was a year ago before I got into Amazon stuff. Go ahead, Tiffany. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. I was just saying the same thing Jordan was saying. I mean, I've been wanting to learn about bundling for a while now. And so I was really glad Scott had them on. And yeah, I think, fear just, it paralyzes people. I got an email the other day from a lady and she was like, I've been doing yard sales and I need to make some extra money. It's just, I'm a single mom. I want to get started on eBay or Amazon. Where do you think I should start? And I'm so scared. And I just told her, like, get on YouTube and research and watch, absorb as much information as you can. I mean, there's so much information out there. You can learn so much. And, don't be scared of, the unknown, because it is scary. But, I mean, you're never going to know unless you try. And, I mean, it's a learning process. It's a journey with anything in life. You're always learning, and you're not going to learn by just sitting in your house doing nothing. You have to get out there and you have to, just start the journey and see where it takes you.
Wait. I'm going to pull John Chartier here. So you mean you have to get off your ass and go to work?
In a manner of speaking, yes. John is the bundling king. That's what got him started with Amazon, that kind of thing. And, and he just knows what he's talking about. And he comes across a little rough some days, but he is a wealth of knowledge, and he's just good.
Yeah, he said my name was horrible. Whatever, mister.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't like him because of how
I love him, but I didn't like his comment.
Yeah,
he's
extremely rough around the edges, but he's so real.
That's what I was going to say.
Gonna fake it to you at all ever. He's gonna feed it to you as raw as you can get it, and it's gonna be the real
I was
deal.
like one of his first 100 subscribers. Okay,
yeah,
I watched all his live videos, and he's like, "That's a horrible name." I'm like, okay.
But speaking of processes, John has that down. John is one of the best people I know for learning a process, because he can take that same process and duplicate it several times for several different products, several different stores, several different wholesale accounts that he has, whatever. And it's the same process he uses for everything. And he's the king of processes. He knows how to do a process. Me, on the other hand, I'm kind of the opposite. My processes are just so. You even vape, bro? That's funny. I'm sorry if my vaping annoys anyone. Just let me know. I'm still gonna do it, but just let me know. I had some people on Scott's show one day just going off in the chat because I was vaping. I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't care. I mean, that's me. Because
I was just busting Oscar stones.
I am who I am, and if you don't like it, yeah, whatever. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, deal with it. Now, what do we got? What do we got in the chat here? Let's see.
Pat T's.
Pat T's, what's up, man?
What's up, Pat?
72.
Pat's another good dude. If you guys aren't sub to him, I know he's trying to get to 1,000, so he's been putting out a lot of videos lately. Just a good dude.
Yeah, Pat's awesome, man.
Yeah. Deirdre says, I'm going to take the leap. I just need my parachute, a.k.a. knowledge. Nah, take the leap. Like, eBay is way less threatening and way less scary than Amazon. Amazon, I walked around with bricks in my pants for weeks before I ever did anything with Amazon.
I think we all did. I mean, even I did.
Amazon was super
Are
scary.
these
as heck.
awesome T-shirts?
No,
I did-
I don't. Go ahead.
I did the morning show with Scott for like 6 or 8 months before I got into Amazon, and he's like, telling us all about the money he's making on Amazon, and I was still scared until the day Scott, he was coming through town, so we went sourcing for, and I'm like, from that day on, like, dude, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No.
But that first shipment still took me a couple of weeks to send out. I was still scared as heck.
Yeah.
But once you get it done the first time, it gets easier and easier. Now, I'm never going to tell you Amazon is easy. It is not. If you do it at the level that I'm at or the level that Scott's at, which is even higher than me and Sue Redmond, and especially when you get up to John Chartier's level, that's a whole different thing. But it's not an easy job, but it's a very rewarding job. And it's not even a job. For me, it's fun. We enjoy it.
Yeah.
But-
I love it. I love
But
it.
there's a lot of work involved, to get to that level, to be able to make. We did. I'll tell you. I mean, I have nothing to hide. We sold $15,000 in inventory last month. So, to get to that level, you have to put in the time and effort, and you have to have your processes down, and you have to have everything. Scott says Amazon is dead, so don't listen to anything I say. Scott knows better than I do. If he says Amazon is dead, don't do it.
Yeah. Listed on Craigslist. Amazon's dead.
Yeah. But to get to that level, you have to put in the work. Like John says, get off your ass and go to work. You have to put in the work. But my God, the rewards are awesome. I'm in a part of my life right now where
on Craigslist.
I'm at a point in my life right now I never thought I'd be. My bills are paid. My wife is happy. I'm happy. Not that she wasn't before. Well, maybe she was. I don't know. But, I can make all my house payments and my car payments. I can pay extra on that stuff. And it's all because I took that leap. I got out of my comfort zone and we just went and did it.
And
Don't do Craigslist, Deidre. Don't do it.
Craigslist is alive and well. Not in my area, though.
What I wanted to mention to because of what Deidre was saying and what you just said, Steve. There's this video. I don't know if anybody's seen it out there, but it's Will Smith talking about jumping out of an airplane.
Oh, dude, that video is super good.
Yeah, you guys just go check it out because that'll to me that was one of the best interpretations of what fear really is. And basically at the end he's like, fear is just that God put the best things in life on the other side of fear. That fear isn't real in reality, right? It's all in your mind in the beginning, and but once you have enough courage to just face it, you'd be amazed at what's on the other side of that. So it's a pretty cool video. You guys should check it out. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, that video is like super motivational. If that doesn't make you want to jump out of an airplane and jump out of a lot of things or do a lot of different things in your life after watching that, then I don't know. That video, like,
I'm never jumping out of an airplane.
That video hit
Hey, Steve,
hard.
let's go jump out of an airplane, man.
I'm
Hell
with you.
no.
I'm with
Come
you, Steve.
on.
I don't
But-
do airplanes. I don't do
Every-
roller
every-
coasters.
Everybody in the
Airplanes are
chat,
alright, but like that video was like
everybody in
super motivating.
everybody in the chat, type 1 if you want to see everyone in the panel jump off an airplane.
I don't even want to get on an airplane. I don't want to jump. Why would I jump out of a perfectly good airplane? But I understand the point.
We need buzzers on this show.
I understand the point, and I have seen that video. And regardless if you agree with anything Will Smith has ever said in the past, that is a video that you should watch because it is true. Everything good is on the other side of fear, except jumping out of an airplane, because that ain't ever happening.
Oh, dude, I'd jump out of an airplane.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
dude.
No.
After I've seen a
I
bunch of
want to
friends
go
of mine.
skydiving. There's like down the road from me. There's a skydiving place. I want to go do that at least.
I've
once.
heard it's like a big adrenaline rush. Like once you do it, you
Yeah.
want to go back and do it again and again.
No.
Yeah, I want that adrenaline
Yeah.
rush.
Yeah,
Ain't happening.
after
Yeah,
all,
Sean, I put on a dress once a month. Last night was your night.
I've had a bunch of friends of mine that went jumping out of airplanes, and every single one of them said the same thing. They were scared to death before they did it, but as soon as they jumped out, it was like the best thing they ever did, and they just couldn't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
I can imagine like that moment you jump. It's just like free.
You're still not going to convince me.
But
But it's like it's just that free moment. Then it's probably like the oh shit, what did I just do?
I used to do roofing
Kind of
for a
like
living.
Scott going commando here twice a month.
I used to
It's
do
probably,
roofing
oh,
for
shit,
a
what did
living,
I just do?
but I was the guy who wouldn't climb, do a 12-12 pitch roof because no way I'm getting up on a 12. I do a 4-12 pitch, which is like that, but there's no way I'm getting in an airplane. I couldn't even hardly be a roofer. So yeah, not going to happen.
Yeah. I
But
don't do
watch
heights.
that video. It's a great video.
Yeah.
And the
Nonetheless,
message,
at least watch the video.
yeah, the
Will
message
Smith
behind what
video.
he said is
Yes.
solid, and it's true.
The message, yeah, exactly. The message behind what he said is very good. It's gonna make you rethink a lot of things.
How are you, Oscar?
I'm good. I'm just listening. I'm one of those people that I just jumped out of the plane, hypothetically, as Amazon. All right, let me sign up. Let me get my seller account. I
Dude,
mean, I was concerned because I was seeing that I was in the red for a long time, and then all right, the end of the month is coming up, and that red is gonna grow. I need to send stuff out, and then I started with books and started sending out books, and I'm not in the red. I'm not doing so well on Amazon because I don't have a lot of things that I sent to Amazon. I've been doing a lot of eBay lately, but I've been seeing that now I'm getting steady sales. I have 3 sales in one day. Again, I said it's very, very little, because everything I'm doing is mostly on eBay, but it's I did it, and now I see things starting to pick up. I have a lot of books that's going out. I had sent books on Monday, 2 boxes of books on Monday, probably like around 55 books, something like that. Right before we got into the chat, I got a notification from Amazon that they received the boxes. So I have another box by the front door that's going out on Monday. I have another 75 books that I need to go through my process, use the inventory lab, upload those items, have them transferred over to my seller account, finish the shipping, the shipment on my Amazon seller account, then label them, bag them, and then send that box out too. I just did it. I'm still learning. I'm still learning the whole Amazon thing. But yeah, I was one of those that I was afraid. I was like, all right, so $40 a month, then I'm gonna send these things, and then people are telling me about IP claims, and it's like I don't want to know anything about no IP claim.
Right.
I don't want to,
Yeah, it's becoming a scary game. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I've gotten IP claims. If you sell long enough, you'll get one. You follow the rules, you're going to get less, obviously. If you do the bundling like Mommy Income does, you probably won't ever get any because that's your own listing. But it's just another part of the wheel. And you should be afraid of them, but you shouldn't let that control what you're doing either.
Well, that's one thing I asked them though. It's like, say you take like dollar store items. Say you get like 2. Let's say you get $2 General items and a Dollar Tree item. So you got 3 items. You bundle it together. You sell. You create your own listing on Amazon. Can they all come after you for that?
I don't know. I'm just new into looking into this bundling thing, so I don't know the answer to that. But
yeah, I asked and I never got a response. But
Wait, what is?
I was just wondering.
You're
That's like
asking?
basically if you take like 2, say you go to Dollar General and you grab 2 items, and then you go to Dollar Tree and you grab another item to go with those 2, so you have 3. You have 3 items, 2 from Dollar Tree and one from Dollar General, or 2 from Dollar General, 1 from Dollar Tree, and you bundle those 3 together, can those brands all of a sudden just come at you and give you an IP claim? I mean, I'm sure they can.
When you're bundling, you're basically making a new product.
Right.
Even though you're using product that is obviously made by Dollar Tree or whatever.
Right.
But if you're buying Dollar Tree branded stuff and Dollar General branded stuff, I doubt your IP claim will happen.
Right. That's
but if you're buying Marvel,
it's like a no brand. Yeah, exactly.
Or Hasbro,
it's a no brand.
right.
It's it's a brand, but it's like that store brand. It's not like Marvel, Hasbro. You're not getting into the big name brands that are going to come after you for stuff. But it's like, if you're not selling Funko Pop in a whatever DG brand shit is, and you're not getting that clashing. You just have 2 unbranded type things, and I was just wondering, like,
and I can tell you, Dollar Tree encourages people to do things like that. That's why they sell it to you. You can go on their website and buy it in bulk. You can buy cases of stuff. They're not going to come after you for an IP claim. That's why bundling from Dollar Tree would be okay. Dollar General, I don't know, because they do sell a lot of more name brand stuff at Dollar General, but even Dollar Tree sells name brand stuff. You just got to be careful. You got to look at the rules, do your research, know what you're doing before you get into it. And that's where we're in the process of right now. I'm not going to stop doing retail arbitrage. I love it, but we're going to add bundling. We're going to add things.
I want to add bundling, but I'm scared to make my own listing.
It's not hard. I've done it. It's really not that hard.
Because I watched you a lot and talking about you a lot, listening to you a lot, and
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, about you were scared to take the leap as to making your own listing.
It's not. I did it probably after I said that, and you know what? Making your own listing on Amazon isn't any more difficult than doing it on eBay. However, your pictures have to be dang near professional, or not, if not professional. My wife was a very good photographer back in the day. She made some good money doing that. So she'll be taking any pictures that we have to take for any new listings like that. But just as long as you follow the rules, there's a form that it's just like eBay. You fill in the blanks, and you just got to fill it in, and you got to know the rules. And it's not that hard to make a new listing on Amazon. It's just scary because people don't generally do it, right? We sell retail arbitrage items all the time, and there's already a listing there. If we scan something in a store and it doesn't come up on Amazon, oh my God, I can't sell that. Well, sometimes you can, and I've done it. And one of the tips I have, when you're in a store and you scan an item barcode wise and it doesn't come up in the store, scan the doggone cover. Scan the actual product, because Amazon has the OCR thing. And if it doesn't come up, then type the title in.
Yeah,
we were talking about that before the show.
Theirs is absolutely incredible compared to eBay.
Yeah, eBay sucks.
eBay's is absolutely horrible.
It's a little bit better than it was.
It's since their update, it's better. But I'll go to like Marshall's and scan a pair of shoes, and it'll come up like golf clubs, and I'm like,
there's
what the hell?
There's no reason, and I hope someday eBay addresses this issue, that once you scan something and it actually does come up as the correct item, that you can't search solds, and that makes me angry. So I rarely use the eBay camera function. So because you can't search solds from it, you can't filter down to solds and completeds and stuff. So at least you couldn't the last time I used it. I don't know if they've.
Wait, what are you saying? When you scan something, you can't.
When you scan it with the camera, when you take the picture of it, you cannot go to solds.
They need to fix that.
Yeah, I know, and that was, I think, the only complaint I really had at the beginning when they made. I love the feature, but it doesn't work for me because I need to know. I need to know how much this sells for and how often it sells. So if you can't check solds, but
I've gotten so used to just typing everything in on eBay that I've never even used the actual camera function for absolutely anything.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of the old school guys probably still type most things, and I type everything in unless it has a barcode. Then I scan it, obviously.
like
Yeah.
when I was first learning shoes, I took pictures, and now that I know of like what numbers to enter, I do it totally different. But yeah, when I first started, I was like, this is not even like I'm scanning shoes, getting golf clubs. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, the number, for those who don't know, it's on the tongue. It's on the tongue of the shoe, right on the. Usually, it's right under the little label of the shoe where the size is. It'll have a little number there. Type that in and
Shoes. I have my
high heels.
no. I don't wear heels. I am not that kind of girl. I have my
Alex wears heels
Yeah.
Star Wars slippers.
when he's cleaning, when he's sweeping the floors. He's wearing heels.
Heels.
Hey, listen.
Let me what are those shoes again, Tiffany?
These are my Star Wars slippers. Today is May the 4th.
Oh, it is. That's right. I have Energizer Bunny slippers. I have Energizer Bunny everything.
Oh
Hi,
man,
Sue.
it literally just hit me right now. I've seen a couple posts about like jokes about being May 4th and Star Wars, and I couldn't understand it. And now she just said,
May the 4th be with
is
you.
May-
Where have
Come
you
on,
been?
man.
Where have you been, Alex?
I'm telling you, I'm not. I don't know.
No, you weren't alone.
I grew up my whole life thinking that I never seen a Star Wars movie until recently. That I told somebody I used to watch the Ewoks. They're like Ewoks, and I'm like, yeah, Ewoks. These little like teddy bear looking things. And he was like, bro, that's a Star Wars movie. I'm like, oh man, so yeah, I have seen a Star Wars movie. I was a kid.
I wasn't a Star Wars guy. Star Trek all the way, but Star Wars, man, I never got into that whole thing. But boy, I'll find that stuff at yard sales and sell it.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
care. I think that's a lot of people like, well, I don't know anything about, and I say it on my videos. I don't know anything about this particular type of item, but you have to go out of your comfort zone to buy that stuff. Do you have a supercomputer in your hand? The moon, they had to go to the moon. They had less than what we have in our phone, right? So you have a supercomputer in your hand. You can search anything. So I bought a camera yesterday. Didn't know anything about it. I just bought it. You know, I saw that the comps are going in the $20 to $30 range. It was $5. It's a no-brainer, right? But I wouldn't have known if I hadn't typed it in. You can't just say, hey, I don't know anything about that. But I went off on a rant there. But listen, I come from a spot in my life no more than 6 or 8 years ago where I made $70 a week mowing lawns, and I had to pay rent. I had to feed my kid. You know, if I can do this stuff, anybody can do this stuff. It just takes getting to a point in your life where, and everybody's reason is different, but mine was, hey, I got to make a better life for me, my son, I got married to my wife, and I was still living in my mom's house. I wasn't paying her any rent. It was bad. And Alex, I know you have a even more impressive story to me.
Alex,
you're very
your
impressive
story
to me.
is awesome.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter where you grew up. It doesn't matter what your religion or politics are. If you want to succeed at something, you can succeed at something, because I'm living proof. Alex is living proof. All of us on the panel are living proof of that. And I'm sure we've all had those times in our life where we were really, really, really low. And I know, Alex, you certainly have, and I certainly have. My situation was way different than yours, but it was still a low spot. And sometimes we have to get to the bottom to get to the top, right?
Yeah, and talking about failure as well, that right there is there was this very famous line that a really good friend of mine loved a lot, and it really opened my eyes, him mentioning it. And it talks about defeat, and it talks about how defeat is accepting your defeat and your failure is how you basically is the bedrock upon which happy and purposeful lives may be built. So if you can look at where you've lost, where you've been at your lowest, and use that as and accept that, and you can use that as basically your foundation to build a much better life. Some people tend to just see that and continue to dwell in that, and it's difficult. It's difficult to get out of a tight situation, out of a low, but it's all about the desire that you have.
I'm a dweller. I'll be
Yeah.
the first to admit that. I dwell on things a lot,
Yeah.
but you can overcome it.
Mhm.
You can overcome it, and you can be successful if you just take that first step. That's all there is to it. I didn't mean to try to come on here and be some sort of inspirational speaker, because I certainly ain't.
You
But
are, Steve.
I'm not.
You inspire me, man.
Well, listen, the first time I heard your story, Alex, I'm like, that I was talking to you, talking about you to my wife today, telling her about you, and I'm like, that guy just is very super inspiring to even me. And I've been reselling for 3 years full time now, and you're a newer reseller. I'm like, but it's his story, right? It's where you came from to what you're doing now. That's just so inspiring to me. People, and everybody's gonna think I'm nuts, but the people who inspire me most are, and this is going to sound really crazy, Oprah Winfrey. She came from nothing.
I
and she
love
made,
Oprah.
Don't like her politics, don't
She
like
was
her
so-
attitude, don't like her as a person. I like her story, right?
Yeah.
Where she came from to what she is today. Walt Disney was broke. He declared bankruptcy. Who was it? Colonel Sanders, same thing. Couldn't sell a lick of chicken for nothing, but look what he became. That kind of thing. People came from the lowest of the low to be the highest of the high, and you don't even have to be at that high level. You just have to be somewhere in between. It's that low stuff that makes you get up here. You have to go through that. But I love self-made stories. I love them.
Yeah, the success stories are great.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that are from like humble beginnings, and you end up seeing the whole process of what people went through, the struggles, and then you see them amount to something. It's really motivating. I think that all of us can agree on that.
Right. They're my favorite. That's what inspires me the most is, listen, these people came from nothing and they made it, right? So if they came from nothing, that means I can come from nothing and make it.
Right.
And I'm on the track to where I want to be in life. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I'll ever achieve it, but I'm on that track. And I think we all are, because we've all decided
To jump out of the plane.
Right. We've all decided to jump out of that plane.
Yeah, and it's funny because this whole show is, well, we started it out talking about processes, right? And the truth is, me personally, I see myself as no better or no less than anybody. Yeah, I have a story that people continuously, they tell me it's inspiring and everything, but I don't see it any better, any crazier, or anything like that. The way I see it is that we're all human, right? And we all go through things. And we all need to be there for each other, because when you said, and it's not to correct you or anything, it's just, when you said something about, people that were self-made, the thing for me that keeps me grounded, right? Keeps me on this planet Earth, is that I remind myself that I'm not self-made. I didn't get to where I'm at today by myself.
Right.
I didn't overcome what I overcame by myself. To this day, there's people that have my back and support me and help me. So my story, it's humbling to know that people are inspired by it. But the reality of the situation, I'm not the only one that's a part of my story. You know what I'm saying?
I think we
that's
all have that too.
That's something that everybody needs to look at is, who is around you, who has been a part of your life that has helped you. And that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing here, the
Yeah.
relationships that we've built amongst each other.
Yeah.
That's something that you have to be grateful for. You know, like that's that. At the end of the day, it's all about being grateful. You know, and if you could be grateful for where you're at and what you have, no matter what situation you're in, you can overcome anything.
Yeah.
You know.
I,
So, and
and
I'm
I have to agree with you because, you know, even with me, if my wife hadn't come into the picture, I'd still be that guy. You know, I'd still be living in my mom's basement. And she was the trigger that made me want to become better. So even though I consider the reselling my thing, even though she's involved in it now, she wasn't at first. Without her, I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't have done it. So I understand that point of it. God, I love that woman. She's not watching either.
Aw.
No, she goes to bed early. But she's the most encouraging thing that she encourages me to do my thing, you know. And my thing at the time was I hated my job. I hated, you know, I did get a regular job for a long time, even though I come from the mowing lawn thing. I went to a shop job, and that's all I ever knew was those kinds of things, right? And she encouraged me because I hurt my back at work and I couldn't go back to work. So I was just sitting on the couch all day trying to build a website because I thought that was the thing I wanted to do. And it just didn't work out. She's like, well, why don't we try this? And why don't we try this? She kept encouraging me, you know. And so finally I said, hey, I got some old magazines in the basement. Maybe I'll try selling on eBay because I've done it a few times over the years. And it all started from an old magazine that my uncle gave me, this whole full-time reselling. And that was the first thing I sold, was an old van magazine when I went full-time. Now I have sold, like I said, since the 90s, but just very rare. And I took $20. I went to the Goodwill. And whether you like him or hate him, I watched one of Casey Paris's videos where he was buying clothes, and I just went with that. And so that's what I said. I started with clothes. And, you know, $20 got me started. And last month we did 15,000 on Amazon. That's where, if you can start, if you have a little bit of money and you just keep reinvesting that for a little while, we reinvested for 6 months before we took a penny out. Right.
That's like what me, Alex, in the meme over here, not the meme, the mime, not the meme, the mime over here. He ain't saying nothing, but we were in a live chat the other night. Yeah, he's just listening. And and I said that I got a Marshall's credit card the other day. And I was basically like approved for like $1,400 or something. And it's not much, but is what it is. I said, if I can't build a business off of $1,400 from Marshall's clearance, I need to get the hell out and find something completely different to do. Like if everything I have hits rock bottom and I can't start over with $1,400 and at least turn some money to make that $1,400 like $2,800, then I need to give up. And like we were talking, you know, it's like, so when items sell, I go and I pay that off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I buy a $13 pair of shoes, it sells for 30 or 40. I take that money and I pay on that credit card. So it's not like I have just a ridiculous amount of money on this credit card because I don't want that anyway. But I took it today and I paid it. I paid it all off today. But I don't want it to get just a dumb amount of money on that credit card.
Yeah, I'm not against credit, but
yeah,
like you did, pay it off. Pay it off.
I never wanted one, but I signed up for one. I was like, you know what? Because for every $200 you spend, you get $10. I think it's $10 off. And I'm like, shit, I'm here every Friday buying shoes, buying clothes, whatever. So I spend $200 a month easy in that store. TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, and there's another one that they do. But TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I hit every weekend. So I was like, why not? Like, let's just try it. Let's see what they give us. And they gave me like $1,400 to play with for now. Obviously, it'll go up, but
I started out with $1,000. I think $1,000 on the credit card I use now, and they've raised my limit to 10 grand. I'm not going to use 10 grand at a time. Okay,
no,
not anytime soon. Maybe I will.
No.
Maybe I will at some point in my life. But every month, we have 2 credit cards that we use for the business. One of them's paid off, and it was paid off within 2 weeks of putting the money on there before it was due. The other one we do make some payments on because we're a little bit behind on that one, but it's not because we don't have the money to pay it. We wanted to get that first one done and then this one. But sometimes you have to have credit to build a business sometimes.
Yeah.
But you can do it. Like I said, I think at least I did. I know I started with $20 and an old magazine from the basement, right? So even if you don't have credit, I didn't have credit 6 years ago. I couldn't get credit if my life depended on it 6 years ago, right? Yeah. And now people are up. I bought a car on credit. I bought a house on credit. I have 2 credit cards that I use for business and a personal credit card. Now they all get paid. We've never paid a late fee on a single one of them, and we tend to pay them off really quickly. So what I'll do, get the 18 months same as cash cards. So even if I want to pay it over time, I can, but I don't. We don't. So the one is a little bit behind. I think we have another $1,000. My wife just made a $1,500 payment on one credit card yesterday. So because we don't want the credit to build up. Just because you have it doesn't mean you should use it, right?
Right. And that's what I talked to Jared. That was on Sue's show, the CPA.
Yeah.
I got in contact with him and I was like, man, I pay cash for everything. I was like, I don't want to run my business on credit. Like, I don't want that over my head, just crushing me into the ground. And he was like, hey, I respect it. I get it. He goes, but also your business isn't going to grow if you kind of take that little leap of faith and do some. He goes, if the economy tanks, you're in such a great place that all these people that have an extreme amount of debt because they took it all out, FBA or eBay or whatever they're doing with that money, like, you're in such a good spot that if the economy tanks, you're not out any money. You're not going to lose anything because you're paid. Right. Everything you have is paid for. And all these people that just bought all this stuff on credit, no one's going to buy that stuff on Amazon because the economy just tanked.
Yeah, if you're using credit for your business, just be responsible with it. There's nothing wrong with using it. In fact, you need credit in this day and age. You have to have it.
Yeah, you have to.
If you want to buy a house, you have to have some sort of credit experience. If you want to buy a car, you have to have experience. Yep. So there's nothing wrong with using it. Years ago, I was very irresponsible with my credit, right? Nowadays, now if it was left up to me, I'd probably still be irresponsible with my credit. But my wife, she decided she was going to take charge of that side of the business. And that's great because I would suck at it, right?
Yeah,
and I'm not good with money as far as paying bills and stuff on time. I would let them go forever because I just forget about them. And so she takes care of that side of the business, and I take care of a lot of the sourcing, the listing, the shipping. I do all that. So, but my point is, you have to build some sort of credit rating if you want to get anywhere in life. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks that you have to, but just as long as you do it responsible.
Yeah,
Walmart gave me a $6,000 credit line. Who spends $6,000 at Walmart unless you're doing retail arbitrage or something?
I could totally spend that at retail arbitrage, okay?
Retail arbitrage, yes.
He wasn't even like against it. Like, he was like, no, like, if something happens to the economy, like, you're in a really good spot. He goes, because you can keep on cruising and doing your thing. He goes, it's if the economy tanks, he goes, you're not affected. He goes, you just keep on doing your thing. But he's like, if you have 8-10 grand that you just spent on something, you know, RA, you're up shit creek, kind of, is what he was saying to me. He's like, you're on extremely thin ice in the economy tanks. He's like, you're in a good position if you pay cash. He's like, but don't shy away from the fact of getting a credit card.
Right.
So
a lot of times,
when they offered me that, I was like, all right, let's try it. We'll play around for a couple months with it, but I'm not gonna go and like spend $2,000 at Marshall's and have all this debt and then have to pay it off. So I was like,
as long as you buy smart and, you know, be responsible with that credit and pay it off. Like we went on that 4-day sourcing trip and all of it went on one credit card. The first payment we got from Amazon, the first thing we did was pay off that credit card. First thing, because that's my first responsibility. Before we eat, before we entertain, before we do anything, the bills get paid, you know? So, because if you don't live that way, you're going to be where I was 6 or 8 years ago, right? So, yeah, just pay your bills on time and things will work out in the end, right?
Yeah, and also if you don't do it that way, you're also gonna have those interest rates, and those interest rates are gonna take away from the profits that you've made. So you need to be responsible, especially with that Marshall's card. Because I mean, I don't know if you've had other credit cards, but I know that these stores like Marshall's, Target, Walmart, when they give you a credit card, they don't give you a very good interest rate.
Gosh,
you know,
no.
sometimes
oh my God, this interest rate is
26%.
ridiculous. This is 29%.
There you go.
On my
That's
Walmart,
crazy.
But
I think
It's nuts.
if you're able to manage it, how we talked the other night, and you're able to, as soon as you get the profits or the return from all your investments, you're able to pay that card off on a monthly basis, you're not going to see a lot of those interest rates.
yeah.
No, for sure. Like I told you, as soon as the items sell, that money goes right on that card. And,
exactly. And what some people do,
and what's sold, I paid that card off. So
exactly.
We,
And then
we start over from square one now, and I haven't even got the first bill. It's already paid off. Let's go start again. Let's find new stuff. Let's go resell.
Yeah, that's the same as we are with the credit cards. We don't even get the bill before it's paid. We pay it immediately as soon. If we spent $1,000 on that card and we made $1,001, that card gets paid, because that's the way I have to do it. Now, of course, I'm silly if I only made 1,001, right? So it doesn't work that way. But I'm just saying, the first thing is that card gets paid, or my house. Every bill is paid before we eat. And my son hates it. When he was living here, he's not now, but he's like, but we only have peanut butter. And I'm like, doesn't matter. If you want to survive in life, you got to eat, right? But you don't have to eat steak every day. You don't have to eat, you know, that's how we build up what we have today. Is I quit smoking, first of all. Well, I actually went to rolling my own and then quit. So that was a huge bill. Because when you go into a grocery store, or not a grocery, a convenience store to buy a pack of cigarettes, you also buy a soda pop and a sandwich or a candy bar. You know, you don't go in there and only buy a pack of cigarettes. It was costing me $15 a day to smoke cigarettes, right? So that was the first thing we cut out. And just because of that one thing a year, I saved so much money. I saved $5,000-6,000 a year because of cutting one thing out of my life. And it's the same. And so the second thing we cut out was fast food. We used to go to McDonald's several times a week, or Burger King, or whatever, you know, Taco Bell, whatever. And we cut that out because we don't need that. You can eat a lot cheaper at home.
Yeah.
So being responsible with your money is the first step in having a successful eBay, Amazon, any kind of business, because if you're not responsible with your money, you're not going to succeed.
Right. Well, I see
Alex can touch base on that a lot too, with what he's in right now. You were talking about that same stuff the other night.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's about like sacrifice, man. You know, like you have to look at your situation and adjust the things you need to adjust and get rid of certain things in your life that just aren't helping you, you know, or holding you back from being able to achieve things that you're really striving for, you know.
I see a lot of people post pretty, like I see this pretty frequently in the Facebook groups. They'll ask like, how much do I need to get started? You know, they want to know how much I need to get started. And then they want to know like, how soon can I start drawing money out, you know? And I mean, one thing, somebody that I follow on YouTube and I follow his Facebook group, you know, he said, look, man, you know, I've been doing this for like a year and a half and I'm still not taking money out.
Yep.
Everything that I make, I put back into this business because in this kind of business, that's the only way to grow. And, you know, he said, look, you know, I could be driving a nicer car. I could, you know, have a bigger apartment or whatever, but, you know, I don't. And that's the thing is, you know, you have to focus on your goal and where you want to be. And if you want your business to grow, you know, cut back a little. You know, you don't, like Steve said, you don't need to eat out. You know, you don't need to be having all these luxuries. You know, if you're really serious about getting started with reselling, you know, it takes money to make your business grow. And there's little things that you can go without, you know, that will benefit you in the long run.
Yeah, for me, I've been at work. I've been in the habit of buying lunch. I've started to take lunch just so that I can save that extra $50 a week. You know what I mean? And then
And
using that $50
It's
a
easy
week on
to
the
spend
weekend.
$50 a week on lunch.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and
It's
that
so easy.
and
Easy.
that question that they asked Tiffany, right? That right there is a sign of like analyze your situation, because if the first question out of your mind is how much do I need to put in, and then how long till I can start taking stuff out, you really need to look at the situation. Now, a lot of people, you know, everybody's in it for different reasons. Some people are reselling just for fun or just to make a couple extra dollars to be able to cover maybe a small bill, you know. But then but like how Tiffany said, if you're being serious and you're thinking long term and you want to be able to build something, you definitely need to just reinvest and reinvest and reinvest and reinvest. Like the only reason you're taking money out is to literally put it back in. You know, it's not to make it go somewhere else. It's to put it right back in. But
Right.
definitely
That's
need
what
to
we
have
did for
that
the first.
mentality.
I mean, for us, it was a little quicker. Maybe my wife does work. She's been off for 6 months, but she's going back to work in a week or so. But because of that, I was able maybe a little bit easier than other people to reinvest. But we struggled. Like I said, we ate peanut butter and jelly. I mean, that was it. We had to do what we had to do to get this business to grow. And we started out the show talking about processes. Well, your first process should be money. You should get your affairs in order and learn how to deal with money correctly before you ruin it for yourself. Because you can go out and people have death piles like crazy. I see it all the time. And there's nothing wrong with having a death pile, but that's money sitting there, right?
I have a huge death pile
Right.
that I really need to get taken care
So
of.
you got to start working on,
So I
okay.
told Alex that's my next week.
And there's nothing wrong with having that. And for a lot of people, it's a good security blanket because now when they can't find something, they can list it. But if you're just buying and keep adding to that death pile and rarely listing that stuff on eBay or Amazon or whatever, wherever you list, you're going to end up on the wrong side of things. I mean, I see a lot of people say, well, I've been doing Amazon for 3 months and I've made $50 or $100. I'm like, well, you're doing it wrong. There's something wrong in your process and you got to figure that out or you're going to fail. And I know people, there's a guy on my Facebook I see every day and he's bitching and moaning and crying about eBay was slow today. eBay didn't do this for me today. eBay didn't do that for me today. He's been a full-time eBay seller for years and he's
eBay
still
doesn't
bitching
owe you
and
anything.
well, that's not, I mean, he can't figure out what's going wrong. It's your process, dude. Something's wrong in your process and your mindset in your way of doing things that isn't getting you to where you need to be. And every day on Facebook, you're posting this. Spend that 5 minutes that you spent to post that on Facebook to list something or to research why you're not doing it or watch a YouTube video or do something different. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results over and over again. You know, and and I don't think everybody realizes that. In fact, I don't think I did when I first started. And I never blamed it on eBay. I always blamed it on myself because that's how I am. But
yeah, I'm the same way.
Now, back in the day, in 2009-ish, I was going to go full-time on eBay back then, and I fell into that whole blame it on eBay crap. And guess what? I didn't start reselling full-time until 2016 or 17 because of that. Because I thought eBay was the evil giant that was out to screw me. They're not. They're out there to make money, yes. But without you, they can't make it. So there has to be, you know, that kind of thing. And Amazon's the same way. Now, Amazon's a little different because as a single reseller, one reseller, if I don't sell anything on Amazon, it doesn't hurt their bottom line at all. But eBay's a little different because they depend on a lot of us, right? So eBay is not out there to get you. And that's the second piece of the process, is to get your mindset right. Make sure you know what you're doing with your money, get your mindset right. And those two things will take you very, very far.
Yeah, and that whole thing about talking about fear, process, and change, you know, that's why I said earlier, you know, don't be afraid to change your process. Don't be afraid, because that's something that honestly, it happened to me. You know, recently I analyzed my situation and I look at everything and I'm saying, okay, something's not working here. What do I do? So for a little while, I was just continuing to let it happen and let it happen. And I was going based off of emotion versus based off of logic. And I reached out and I talked to somebody, and we talked for a very long time until 4 a.m, and that was last night. And he helped me a lot, and made me see my situation for what it really was, give me some good suggestions, some good advice, and that's where I'm putting that fear to the side and changing my process. You know, there's gonna, for me and my business model and everything that I'm doing, everything's gonna change now. You know, and it's for the better. It's for the better. But originally I was afraid to change it because I was already in my mind so deep into it. And there was, how am I going to change this? I've already done so much and I have all of these plans. But then I was put in my place and I was told, dude, but all of your plans ain't going to work if you don't change what you've done.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at, and I'll tell you straight up, I'm not gonna be selling on Macari, and I'm not gonna be selling on Poshmark anymore. I'm gonna close those. Well, I'm not gonna close the stores. I'm gonna keep them open, but I am gonna take all the listings and just put them on eBay, and I'm gonna 100% focus on Amazon and eBay. I'm gonna put my focus on those two platforms, and I think that was something that I already knew to do. I just was afraid to do it. It was a foot in the door type of thing. So
part of it, if you're spreading yourself too thin, that's another bad thing. I mean, for platform, I can barely do 2 platforms, right? So for me, and YouTube, I've been doing a lot more YouTube lately. I spent 3 hours editing a video yesterday, and I swore I'd never edit a video, but to make it down, it was an hour-long video of yard sailing. And so if you add even more to that, Macari, Poshmark, Bonanza, whatever you want to, and there's nothing wrong with those platforms. They work for a lot of people, but they're just not my focus, and obviously not Alex's focus. You have to have some focus. Yes, you should list on multiple platforms, but keep it to the ones that are actually doing good for you. You know, so if you do super good on Poshmark, you should be listing on Poshmark, right?
I'm kind of right there with you, Alex. I had that one sale and nothing else. You know, I got a lot of likes and watchers, whatever you want to call it, on Macari, and same on Posh, but I've never had a sale on Posh, and I've had one sale on Macari, and I'm to the point where it's like, you know what? I've had the most luck on eBay and Amazon. So I think I need to cut the rope and just quit hanging myself.
Well, I tried Macari and I sold one item. I listed one item. I sold one item. It took 2 months to sell, but it was probably because it was something that wasn't as. I was selling 5 of these a day on eBay, and then I got a Vero claim on them, so I had to take them off of eBay. And I tried them on Macari, and it took me 2 months to sell one of them. So for me, I didn't like their short titles. I didn't like the fact that you couldn't do multi listings.
Yeah, that's aggravating.
And
You
so,
can't do
and I thought,
multiples.
well, is it the right platform for me and the type of stuff I sell? No, it's not. So I focused more on Amazon and eBay at that point and just left Macari off to the side. Does Macari work for some people? Absolutely. And some people make a lot of money over there. Great.
Oh,
If that works for you,
some people make a living
do it,
on Macari.
right? Like, and Scott said it a lot of time. Just because it works for me or works for him doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Find out what works the best for you and do it.
Yeah.
And for me, 2 platforms. Now, if you can handle 4 platforms or 5 platforms or whatever, and you enjoy doing that and it's working for you, stick with it. If it's not working for you, change your process, change your plans, change your attitude. I swore I'd never sell on Amazon until I sold on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I was afraid, but I wasn't afraid to try it after time, and it worked out for me. I make way more money on Amazon than I ever will on eBay because
I never thought I'd make as much as I do on Amazon.
It's crazy.
I do now.
It's crazy.
And that's what I was gonna say. There's people that can literally manage and balance the the multiple platforms, like they can do Macari and Poshmark.
I can't juggle that many.
I was actually I've had it's been working for me. The only one that I haven't had that much success.
Like this guy here, the bearded picker. He's a new reseller.
He's so new, man.
He's so new.
What were you saying, Oscar?
No, what I was saying is that it's been working for me. The only one that really hasn't been selling is Poshmark, but I've been seeing a couple of sales coming through Amazon, not as much as I like, as I said before. I've been having a lot of success on eBay. I really started focusing on reselling March 19th. That's the date that I opened up my Amazon seller account. That's the day that I started putting a bunch of listing on eBay. And since that day, just the money that I've been making from these platforms, and I also use local platforms as well, have been covering all of my bills with the exception of my mortgage. All right. So my paycheck from my job, from my 9 to 5, has been going into my bank account.
That's awesome.
So that's been working for me. Poshmark, I got 2 sales. I sold a pair of cat shoes. When Kathy told me to open on my Poshmark, I listed it. I sold the cat shoes, and then just last night I sold a compression garment for $70. So Macari has been selling, consistent, small things, nothing crazy, couple laptops, things like that. But that's it. But I also sell locally. I'll use a OfferUp, and then I sometimes like listing on local because I don't have to worry about seller fees. I don't have to worry about shipping. Right. I don't have to worry about negative reviews and returns. So those are things that I take into consideration. No IP claims. I don't have to worry about IP claims either.
I got to show you what I did with I made one sale on Macari, and Macari keeps that in an account for you, and you can actually use that to buy off of Macari. So here's what I bought.
Volkswagen. This is what I bought. Rambo toys.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten my free item. I can't pick. I don't know what to get.
Well, I picked mine, but I haven't gotten it.
But I quickly realized that Macari wasn't for me, and I've never tried Poshmark, but I know they're like Lauren Hot Chic Thrift. I can't ever say it right. She does super well over there, and Andy, the Parrot Head Picker, he does super well over there, and that's great.
I love his videos.
Oh, Andy Andy has the best YouTube videos on YouTube.
I
for
just
reseller.
found his videos like last week, and I'm like, how have
Really?
I never found this?
You
before?
just
Yeah.
now found Andy's. Oh my god!
It just like stumbled across my feed, and I was like,
Yeah.
how have I never found this guy?
His editing skills are epic. It doesn't matter what Andy says on the video. It's how he edits those videos are perfect. They're great. And his photo taking skills. And I think he does have a video on how he does it, but his photos are beautiful, you know, for his eBay and Poshmark sales.
Like someone like me though can relate because he works a full-time job and does all this. I mean, the dude's a soldier. He's a soldier.
Andy, people are asking about Andy's channel. Parrothead Picker is his channel, and I don't know his last name, but his name is Andy. But yeah, if you haven't checked Andy out, go ahead and do it. He usually does a video on Mondays about what's sold. I'm not sure he's doing it every Monday. He does have a full-time job, so but he's very good. I love his video editing skills and his photo skills. He's just top of the line there. Me, I just throw something on a table and take a picture of it, and it's on a white background, and that's good enough for me. But
yeah,
I put it in front of a fireplace.
I did the fancy backgrounds for a while, and then eBay wanted you to do white, so I changed to white, and I've never changed back.
And there's another example of all the different ways of your process. You know, how you take photos. You know, I've taken photos in so many different ways. I've taken
So
stuff
I think we all have.
In the sun. You know, I was like, let me see in the sun. I've
been playing around with Macari because I watch a lot of the pictures that are being sold on Macari, and it's like, here, homeboy, hold this cup while I take a picture of it.
But if you watch,
and it's like in homeboy's hand next to a pine tree,
sold,
and the shit sells, and I'm like, what is going on?
You guys all got to watch. If you
Professional.
haven't already watched Pete's video from today, Craigslist Hunter's video from today, him and what's her name? His assistant, the lady who does all his eBay lists. Anyway, they did a video, and he's like, "You guys are overthinking it," and he's like, and just what you guys were talking about with photos. It's eBay, right? People aren't going on eBay to look for professional photos. In fact, when I see a professional looking photo on eBay, I get a little nervous about making that purchase because I think it's a drop shipper or something of that nature. So he's like, don't overthink your business. I think his video from today is a must watch because he really hits the nail on the head. You're overthinking your business. Just if you spend too much time about thinking about how you're taking pictures or a lengthy description or things like that, just get it listed, get it on there. It will sell if it's a good item, right? And I think a lot of the last 2 years, I've been taking pictures with my cell phone. I didn't have any fancy equipment, no cameras. I bought a cheap set of lights, and I used to edit every video and try to make it look real nice. And now I do the minimal amount of editing, and I bought this camera at the Goodwill or the Salvation Army for $40. And that's what I take my pictures with now. And the only reason I take it with that is because when I take them with my phone, it doesn't orient right on eBay, and this one does every time. So if it's straight up and down on this camera, it's straight up and down on eBay. I always have to rotate them with the phone for some odd reason. I don't know why. But just a cheap Goodwill camera, as long as it's not like 2 megapixels or something, you're fine, right? Because eBay compresses the photos anyway. You're never going to get the perfect photo. You can have the best camera in the world, and once you upload them. But yeah, Pete's video from today, if you guys haven't watched it yet, I thought he did a real good job at explaining why you shouldn't overthink things.
Yeah, and then at the same time, it's like you know, when you're new, and you don't know what you're doing and stuff. Yeah, don't overthink it. But you know, at the same time, as you just jump in and do it, you start figuring it out on the way. So yeah, don't overthink it. Just figure it out as you go, but definitely jump in and do it. You know. Like my first pictures were literally like the worst pictures in the world, and it's the stuff sold. I mean, I never in my mind thought that I was actually gonna sell that Smurf that I bought. and it was a little Smurf, and it sold, and it was amazing because it was like the worst picture I've ever seen in my life.
But people are going on eBay now, unless you're selling brand new products all the time. Your picture should be halfway decent for those.
Yeah,
But people are going on eBay expecting individual sellers like you and I, right? They're
Yeah.
not on Amazon. It's a whole different story. They think they're buying from Amazon. In fact, up until I met Scott, until I knew of Scott, I didn't even realize that people sold on Amazon. I thought it was, I thought it was all Amazon selling this stuff, right?
Same here.
So and a lot of people have that mindset about Amazon, and that's why things have to be that way on Amazon. But on eBay, people they know that they're buying from an individual instead of a company. So you don't have to go all out and spend all this money on equipment and stuff. Just get started. Just get doing what you're doing. And I mean, I started with an iPhone 4, and that was only 3 years ago because I kind of hang on to technology forever until it can't be used anymore. But the pictures were fine. I sold a lot of stuff. My first year, we did 20,000 in sales, which to me seems like nothing nowadays. But back then, that was great. That was awesome, right? $20,000 because for starting from a magazine and $20. So you don't have to have all this great stuff to get started. Just do it. Just jump in and start. Now, learn the rules, learn how to list. It's not that difficult. You got forms. Copy and paste somebody else's listing. That's what I do. Don't tell anybody. If somebody, here's my real process for searching something on eBay. When I go to list it, I look it up. I look for the highest sold price of that particular item in the condition I have it in. I take their title because I hit sell similar. I copy and paste their listing, what they put in there, and change it to fit whatever so if it says new in box and mine's open or whatever, I'll change that. But you don't have to sit there and type out every single listing. I listed 20 items today in half an hour.
Oh man, let me tell you something, Steve. Man, that just brought me back to like starting out on eBay and typing out every listing, and it just made it more dreadful. Like, oh man, I got to do this every time. There has to be a better way. And it was like literally typing out and checking the spelling and the grammar, and it was ridiculous, man.
But somebody else already sold that item, and their description sold that item. Yeah. We're getting some feedback on. It sounded like Tiffany's in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, their description, their title, their price all sold that item. So and I'm not suggesting you steal everything from a listing. I'm suggesting you take what they've already written and make it fit yours. So if Eric Bischoff says, don't recreate the wheel. You don't have to sit there. And it took me 15 minutes to list one item when I first started because I thought I had to type it all out. You don't. Take whatever experience. Especially the more experienced sellers. In fact, a lot of times I do have to type listings because people just say condition is new. That's it. So you got to add a little more to that. But if somebody had a good description and it fits your item, use it. Change it a little bit. You don't want exactly the same for SEO purposes, but change it a little bit. But you don't have to sit there for 15, 20 minutes creating one listing. I did 20 listings, about 20 listings today of 20 different items. And I mean, vastly different items. All that stuff I picked up at rummage sales and yard sales yesterday. And it was after pictures, because pictures take a little bit of time. After pictures, the listing part of that, 20 minutes, half an hour tops, because I'm doing it. That's the process I use. I find the highest sold listing, I take their title, and I change their description a little bit, but I copy and paste everything, and it goes super, super, super fast. And I always was wondering, how do people list 50, 60 items a day? It's super easy if you do it that way. I didn't realize that. I thought you had to do it all by yourself, but you don't. Just take what other people have done. Now, I will tell you, if it has dashes, periods, commas, quotation marks, anything in the title, I take all that stuff out because search engines don't like that.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people like to put the fancy stuff in there. Or remember back in the day, I don't know if you were on eBay back in the 90s, but they had look with the 2 @ symbols. That stuff is
Yeah.
unnecessary and it screws up the search engine. So take all that stuff out. So if the titles have that, I'll take all that out. But I keep most of what their title is, and I keep most of what their description is. And the price, I'll keep it. I usually price my stuff at the higher end instead of the lower end. I know a lot of people say, well, I price it $1 below everybody else. Well, yeah, you're going to sell it, but you're not making your potential. So I keep mine towards the higher end, not always the highest, never the lowest, but somewhere towards the higher end, but not the highest either. So, and I sell a lot of stuff with that simple method, and it goes really, really, really fast for me. Because if I put too much, like I said, what Pete said today, if I put too much thought into this, I'll get a death pile that'll never get listed, and it'll just sit under my table. I have a giant clear bin that sits under my listing table here, and it'll sit there for months because I dread listing it. So my process has to be simple, fast, easy, done.
Yeah, and you gotta do it. Like you gotta make it happen.
Yep.
You know.
And
That's
if you
what I'm
make
trying
it
to do.
enjoyable, like to me now, listing is enjoyable for the most part. There's certain things, like I said, clothing, I dread listing. I hate listing clothing. I know there's a lot of money in some clothing, and I've made a lot of money in clothing over the years. I just dread listing it. So that stuff kind of sits a little bit longer. But for hard goods, man, I can list like I can't say that word on live. I can list like Fiend.
Clockwork.
There we go. But I can list quickly, and it's just more enjoyable when I can get it done quickly.
That's one of the things that I don't like about Poshmark. I think that Poshmark, for me to put a listing on Poshmark, takes longer than it would take me to put 2 listings on eBay. Because then there's children's sizes, there's women's sizes, and then
Yeah.
there's the condition, and then there's the brand, and then there's a subcategory, you know.
And colors for clothing. Color.
Right.
Like, okay, it's blue, but what shade of blue is this doggone thing? I just don't have the patience for that stuff anymore. And so I used to work at a place called Blair. It's a clothing, well, they sold mostly clothing back in the day. I think they still exist. But I did customer service for them. And the questions that people ask about clothing, maybe this is why I don't like clothing nowadays, but the questions people, they want to know the inseam, they want to know the outseam, they want to know the size of the cuff opening, they want to know the waist size. I mean, they want to know everything when they're buying. It was catalog orders. So when you get returns on clothing on eBay, it's because they may not have asked those questions, but if they do, and you don't have that stuff in your listing, you know, it's just hard to sell clothing. And I have nothing but admiration for clothing sellers. You guys go get it, because I'll leave it out there for you. Unless it's Tommy Hilfiger vintage, then you ain't going to find it in my area because I already bought that stuff. But there's certain things like football jerseys, or hockey jerseys especially. Oh my God, I love listing hockey jerseys because there's money in those. Lots of money in hockey jerseys. But if I find jerseys and vintage Tommy Hilfiger stuff and vintage concert tees, yeah, I'm going to buy that stuff, right? But if it's just your everyday average Polo Ralph Lauren stuff, I don't do that anymore. I just don't do it. Keywords are important to get a good, yeah, keywords are important. So that's why I take somebody else's listing, because their keywords are already sold. Hey, look at that. I got an eBay thing here. New bid. Nice. I bought I'm actually running an auction right now. I don't do auctions very often because in this day and age, people don't want to wait for things. But when you don't know about an item and there's never been one listed on the internet, auction is probably the best way to go. So I got this. Where is it at? Let me see it. I got this plate. It's an identification plate for an old tractor. Well, they stopped making this tractor in the 1930s. There's not a single one listed on eBay. And that's what I just got the bid on. I got a $20 bid on this one. Oh, you have to unmute yourself, Tiffany. I think. Anyway, No, not working.
You're probably gonna have to.
Anyway, so there's not a single one of these listed on eBay. I can't find any sold history on like WorthPoint or anything. So that's the sort of thing I'll auction. But anyway, that's what I just got a bid on. This comes off a Rumley 6 tractor, which was only made in the 1930s. So I put it up for $20 because I have no idea. And I just got a $20 bid on it. Those are the only things I'll auction. Did we get her unmuted yet? No.
It's Jordan. You got to unmute her.
She's not muted.
Yeah, she has to jump out of the chat and jump back in.
Yeah, you might have to get out and come back in.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay, because I don't know if she heard me.
We can hear everyone but her.
All right, there she goes.
Farming picker, that comes off of Alice Chandler's Rumley 6.
Hey, Steve, you want to see something cool, man?
Absolutely, man.
This is the first time that I can remember seeing one in my life, but it's this. Oh, man. You guys know what that is?
I have seen similar. That's a beta.
It's a beta.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it works. Thing, I got.
Do you have any beta tapes for it?
No, I don't, but it works. It works because they had a beta tape over there, but check it out. So that thing, I got it for like what, $5 to $7. I paid $20 for that and two Sony VCRs. So this what, $7? Yeah, like $7. It comps like one sold today for over $200.
The beta player.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like they actually, there's a ton of them that sell.
Well, you've got everything there. It's Sony, and we all know that Sony sells.
Yeah.
It's a beta player, which is a very hard technology to come by anymore. I've only seen one at yard sales in the last 3 years, and I was 1 minute too late because some other guy bought it, which is fine. I know a lot of people have fear of missing out, and I've been told that I'm a liar because I don't. But if somebody else gets it, more power to them, right? That's how I feel. But Sony, it's a beta player, and it's defunct technology that you have to have that particular player to play it if you have the tapes. So those are three good things about that thing. And yeah, if they work and you can, I mean, it looks like it needs a little bit of cleaning, but if it works, man, you got some money right there for what'd you say you paid for it?
I paid
$7.
$7.
$6.66.
Dang. And that's, I mean, we all go for those kind of home runs, and it's fun when they happen.
Yeah, today was a pretty cool day for me, man. That was a pretty cool day. I
have not, like I said, I haven't come across one yet. My coolest find was last year. I got that camera. It was a super rare camera, and it was new in the box, never been used, and it had 3 or 4 lenses on it. And it shot in 3D, I guess, or 3D. We obviously can't shoot film in 3D, but you know what I mean. It made it look like a 3D appearance on film. And that thing sold for $300. And I paid, I want to say I gave $20 for it at a flea market because the guy had no clue. And I didn't even know what it was. And that's getting out of your comfort zone sometimes, right? So I didn't know what it was, but I had seen somebody else talk about it one time on a YouTube video. And I said, I know that sells for more than $20. So I'm going to take the leap. I didn't have any cash. I made the reseller mistake, the number one mistake that you should never make. And I didn't have any cash on me that day at the flea market. I go to the flea market and I didn't have enough cash, right? Yeah, so I had I said,
Oscar knows every single time I go with Oscar.
So I said, here, I had $5 in my pocket. I said, can you hold this camera for me? I ran 5 miles to the ATM because that was the closest ATM because this flea market's out in the middle of nowhere, and my bank was like 5 miles away. So I ran into the ATM and I came back and I bought thing, and it sold within a week. And I went to Germany, and then the guy tried to tell me it was used, and I'm like, I know it wasn't. And so I word my responses to people in a certain manner to make them not want to return it, and he didn't. So it went through. The sale went through. But that was the closest I've ever been to being scammed on eBay, was this guy trying to return this camera from Germany. What people don't know is when somebody buys something through the global shipping program, I just told him you have to go back through eBay to return this. And that's all I really said to the guy. And he knew that if he had to go back through the global shipping program to send it back, that now eBay may inspect this. He's German, he's a foreign guy. So I mean, he may not know how the process works correctly, but the way I worded it, he just didn't never send it back. But that was a beautiful camera. But $300, man. That was one of my favorite finds. Not my best ever, but one of my favorite.
Yeah, I learned about those 3D cameras when I made my glorious purchase of vintage cameras not too long ago.
Now there were several different versions made by different companies, but this particular one, for some reason, was the best one, right? New in the box, everything was still in the plastic. That was beautiful. I almost wanted to keep it and just put it on the shelf because it was so cool.
Man, and let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna say something to y'all in the chat. Whoever's here, check this out. So today, I decided to actually look up like VCRs and stuff like that on Amazon. I've never done it. And when I did it, I was surprised, man, that in home entertainment, like all VCRs and DVD VCR combos, like all this stuff that I have, I can possibly, I don't know, I'm going to double check because I've heard of people doing it, but I think I might send this stuff to Amazon.
You can.
Used, and like the rankings are like 100, 240, stuff like that, like really great ranks. And used items, I know that you have to like package it and bubble wrap it, and it's different because it's not new in a box, but you can still do it. So I'm gonna research it before I do it. I'll probably talk to a few people to get some advice. But yeah, because I have some good VCRs here that, and new in box on Amazon. If you have a new in box like Sony VCR, you're talking about like $600.
Yeah, I'm restricted in Sony. Are you unrestricted in Sony? I'm restricted.
Yeah, I didn't have restrictions on it.
That's weird.
Like
now used, I may not be, but on new, I would be.
Yeah, and used that I didn't.
I'd be careful. I'd still be careful if you're getting it like at a thrift store. I may still send it as used, and the only caution you use when sending those in, obviously you want to bubble wrap them. Wick talks about it, Flippin' Junk. If you ever watch his stuff, he talked about it in his last video, how he bubble wraps the hell out of them things and then takes shrink wrap over the bubble wrap. So he makes it like a football, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I do with auditors.
And he makes sure, even if the listing says without remote, he puts a remote with it because people don't read that stuff. And you got to make sure he puts a set of RCA cables or whatever they're called and a remote with every VCR he sends in, because if you don't, you're probably going to get a return. So just make sure you have that stuff and you're good to go on Amazon with that stuff. And make sure it's obviously it fits the description of the one that's on there. I don't send a lot of used things into Amazon, but I would try with that stuff because the money's so good.
Yeah, the thing is, I have quite a few, and since I'm doing this whole switcheroo and changing things up, I'm gonna try sending one in. I'm gonna check it out, research a little bit before I actually do it. But I'm gonna try it out, see what happens, because it's worth trying out. Not restricted and used, so I don't think there'll be an issue.
I'll tell you another thing that I've found that's really good to send into Amazon is. You ever see those jar openers, those Black & Decker lids off jar openers? If you can find those things do super. I've sold 2 of them in the last 6 months one sold for $120 19, and one sold for 140. Just wherever the listing's at the time. I use a repricer, so it just gets me the buy box on them. But my God, and I paid like $8 for each one.
Decker lid openers.
Yeah, they just take it. It's an automatic jar opener. Have you ever seen those? Now you want them new in box if you can. You can sell them both. You can sell them new, but you got to be careful when selling anything that you buy at a thrift store new, because obviously if there's an authenticity or an IP claim on it, you can get tagged for that. Those two were so nice that I did sell them as new, but I wouldn't suggest doing it for a new person.
Yeah, it's a risk. I was actually talking to Oscar about that today. Like, the risk that you take, sending stuff to Amazon as new
when it may not be.
Like especially if you get things at yard sales. And that's something that Shane actually brought to my attention. Because I was talking with him and I was like, hey, should I send this new or use the like new? And he was like, where you sending it? I'm like, to Amazon. He's like, dude, what'd you get at yard sale? No, don't send that into Amazon. Because you don't have paperwork to back that up if Amazon
we talked about that a little bit on the morning show. There's certain things you can send in new. Like Scott said, he was sending in VCR tapes that were still sealed. Nobody's going to file an IP claim on an old VCR tape.
Yeah.
So you should be okay with that sort of thing. Sue said that some older technology, like your VCRs, that may be okay if it's like a couple generations out or whatever. But if you're getting like this barcode scanner at the thrift store and you're sending that in as new, that's a current item, and you might not want to do that, right? So you just got to kind of feel the platform out a little bit and understand how Amazon works. But for VCRs and stuff, I don't know. I haven't sent one in yet. I'm afraid to, and that's one of those fears that I've got to get over, is sending
Jump out of the plane.
Yeah, I got to jump out of that VCR plane. I sold a Panasonic on eBay for 125. That would have sold on Amazon for 300, used, because I was afraid to sell that on Amazon. And why I was afraid, I don't know. Because it's a bigger sale and that sort of thing, and I had never done it before. Did Jordan fall asleep?
Hey.
That was me. I just sold. And here's another thing that a lot of people, who was it that just did the video on parting things out? Somebody just did a video on parting things out. So I went to the thrift store the other day and bought this. This is just a charger for a Hoover Lynx vacuum, a cordless vacuum cleaner. It's a part. I just sold that for $28.95.
Nice.
And I paid $1.99 for it. So parting things out a lot of times is awesome.
Yeah, I say it all the time, man. You can sell anything, like there's nothing you cannot sell, but you just gotta figure out how and who and where. So things and others. Yeah, parts are definitely a good one, man.
Yeah, Sue said she sells by Sue says. Come on, Sue. Come on. She sells by Sue says that she will sell old small appliances that aren't made anymore on Amazon, but mostly list them as used. So because there is no proof to back it up. Like when you buy something at Dollar Tree, they don't put the UPC code on the receipt. And like Shane says, he buys low risk items at Dollar Tree to resell on Amazon, something that probably won't get an IP claim. If you're buying Disney at Dollar Tree, you're probably going to get in trouble. If there's ever a complaint, you have no proof to back that up. Wake up, Jordan. He did fall asleep.
Did he?
And we still can't hear Tiffany. So it's the Steve and Alex and Oscar show now. How do we wake the dude up?
I hope he's okay, dude. Yo, Jordan. Yeah, I gotta text him. Let me text him. Maybe
call him.
He really looks like he's sleeping.
It does, right? It's like,
Live on Amazon.
guys, everybody, let's give a thumbs up for the first time ever on live YouTube chat. Someone falling asleep.
We still can't hear
We still
Tiffany.
can't hear you.
We still can't hear you. What's going on?
Maybe Jordan needs to bring his daughter in. And
You
she'll wake him up.
hear the vibrating?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did do a bunch of yard work today.
Tired, man.
We can't have a show unless he wakes up because it's on his channel.
Imagine he's gonna wake up at 4 a.m. and like he's the only one here.
We just leave him there. Oh my God.
Tiffany, we can't hear you, Tiffany.
It looks like he's
Tiffany, you know sign language? This is gonna be fun. All right, let's do this. Let's all not talk from now on, and let's just try to communicate using hands. Tiffany, did you jump down and jump back in? Right?
a couple times she did.
She's doing awesome. Understood that. That's not cool.
How do we wake him up?
Jordan.
He's got his earbuds in.
Does he? I hope he.
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
Jordan. Oh man, he's out. He's out. I called him.
Yeah, he's breathing, so he's all right.
He's snoring is what he's doing. Well, I mean, the show must go on, right?
Yeah, let's see if we can set an alarm here or something.
Tiffany, take off the mute on your end. She said, "I don't have it on mute."
Boy, this is a.
But the little microphone is on, and it's still yeah, I can't hear you. Well, so yeah, guys, the show must go on.
Oh,
We're here live and in full effect.
she says
I know that-
muted her, and if the host mutes you, I think you have to unmute yourself. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. I'm an amateur.
there's something wrong, something happening. Because yeah, maybe it is that he muted her by accident. But yeah, I saw a farming picker. He asked thank you for reminding me, and I'm speaking to some business partners of mine and a few advisors. They advised me that I should not make the announcement yet. But what I can say is that something new, exciting, and entertaining is going to happen when it comes to YouTube and reselling. And I'm going to bring it to you guys, something you've never seen before, never, ever seen before. I'm going to bring it to you guys pretty soon, and it's going to be, well, I don't know about pretty soon, but eventually. But I will make an announcement when we get closer to that goal, and it's going to be amazing. So you guys definitely want to, for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, I'm Alex FATMAN the Flipper. Subscribe to me, and you'll see it happen live, and it's gonna be amazing. And also, I want you all, whoever's in the chat, that because there could be some new people, right? There could be some new people that haven't subscribed to Steve Alcorn Flips. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel as well, and to my homegirl that we can't hear or see. No, we can't see her either. Tiffany, she's Eat Sleep Amazon. Go ahead and subscribe to her as well. And my homeboy El Cubanazo is how you say it. you guys subscribe to him as well. Just subscribe to everybody in the panel, and then after you're done subscribing to everybody in the panel, take the time and subscribe to everybody in the chat for fun, and see how I'll just play it around. But yeah, y'all can just show each other love, man. But and DG Picker,
if he ever wakes up,
if he wakes up, we'll be all right. If he doesn't wake up anytime soon, we'll still be all right. Everything will be okay. Tiffany,
We can't hear you, Tiffany.
what a comedy of errors, right?
this is awesome.
Sorry, I'm typing, guys, if that's coming across. My son was messaging me, so. Jordan, it's not going to work.
Jordan! Oh, Jordan!
He must have muted himself, or he muted the whole thing. He wanted to take a nap, so he muted us.
He's not napping. He's focused. He's on his phone listening.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
No.
He's listening from his phone.
That's what I thought he was doing first, originally. I will call him one more time.
Oh, that's crazy.
But going back to what we were talking about with the things that you shouldn't sell to Amazon, what Alex was talking about that he was saying earlier was, I was at a garage sale, and then apparently the guy who was having the garage sale, he had a store at one point. He might have closed his store, and he had a bunch of command strips. These are the command strips that they're like little hooks that you don't necessarily make a hole on the wall, but it's got that double-sided tape on the back that you just stick on. And he was selling them he was giving it to me for $3 I had scanned it and I seen it on Amazon. 2 of those same exact command strips, like a package with 2, was selling for $11. So I quickly bought all of them. There was 24 of them. Cost me. It was almost 26 of them. So I paid $1 each. And Alex, he had seen that I had gotten them, and he quickly told me, he's like, look, be careful about sending that to Amazon. And I asked him, it's like, why? And he's like, because of that, because you don't have a receipt. It's something that you got at a yard sale. What do you think, Steve? Do you think that's something that shouldn't send in? Would that fall in with the low risk?
They're made by 3M, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't send them in.
No.
But
So eBay.
you can eBay this stuff like that. I do a lot of it. In fact, I've taken the risks, and I shouldn't have. Right? I've never been in trouble for it. I've gotten one IP claim on something I couldn't prove, and that sticks with me, and I don't like that. So nowadays, if I buy something that I don't have a receipt for, or it doesn't show an itemized receipt, we got her in here twice, and we can't hear either one of her. She's so angry now. If I don't have an itemized receipt with that UPC on it or whatever, I'm not going to send it into Amazon. It's just not worth risking an account over. I mean, Amazon's you can make so much money, and you can be so successful on Amazon. I'm not going to, how much did you say they are? 2 for $11? I don't want to risk my account over $11, right?
No, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
And 3M's a big company, and I think I'm even restricted in some 3M products, not all of them. But if I'm restricted in anything from that product, I get nervous about sending it in, because in that brand. Now, there's some things like Transformers, I can list some, I can't list others, that kind of thing. Funkos, I can list some new, and most are collectible. So I won't even list in the collectible condition. But that's not because I'm afraid of an IP claim. They don't sell. But no, I wouldn't. But I sell a lot of health and beauty products on Amazon. And this warehouse store I go to doesn't itemize the receipts, all return stuff. And there was times that I sent a lot of that into Amazon. But I'm not going to do that anymore, because I don't need to risk my account over a couple of dollars.
Right.
Because
yeah,
it's my livelihood. Why would I do that? Right?
Yeah, that's basically what Alex was saying. Alex is like, look, you don't have a receipt for any of those things, you're not going to send it in. I mean, even though it's in new condition, not to send them in. So yeah, I'll probably just end up sending them.
Brand it. If it's a name brand at all, I wouldn't do it. But like your Dollar Tree stuff, if you're buying their pot holders, that's John Chartier sells a lot of pot holders. If you're buying that, that's a different thing. They're not going to go after you. But I wouldn't buy Disney or Marvel or DC Comics or anything like that at the Dollar Tree and try to send it in, because then if there is a complaint at all, you have no recourse, and you need that recourse. The only IP claim, I've had 2 IP claims on my account. One was from a company called Unstable Unicorns, and they sell these little game cards. And I got it at the GameStop, and they sent an IP claim. They were really harsh. Sleeping picker. Sleeping picker. 3 IP claims over the same item. But I had the receipt from GameStop, and I sent that as proof to Amazon. And guess what? Those went away. The one that I didn't have a receipt for is still on my account. So that's the difference.
Right.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Anybody have his daughter's phone number or his wife's phone number or anything that they
No, hey, maybe. Yeah, you know what? Facebook. How about that? How about that? Let's check it out.
Rip Van Picker. That's better. Yeah.
Rip Van Picker.
She's upset.
She's upset, but she's laughing about it. So that's what's cool.
I don't know what went on with her. I know that if the host mutes you, you have to unmute yourself, but for some reason it's not working on her end.
Hey,
I've been told. I've never done it.
There's a fight tonight, Canelo or something like that. I didn't even know.
I'm not into that sort of thing.
Oh no! I went to look for Jordan's.
Everybody's sending Jordan messages now. Wake up!
Yeah, wake up, man!
Hey, I've been there. Try it again.
What if it's her microphone?
The answer is no. Maybe. We're not laughing at you.
Yeah, Scott. She tried coming out. She's been coming in and out a bunch of times already. Trying.
4th time, yeah.
All right, Tiffany, it's just a big joke. We can all hear you perfectly fine.
Imagine that was so mean, dude. That's so messed
Jordan's
up.
not really sleeping. He's just pretending so that it's.
All right, the joke's over. That's it. All right. What did you want to say, Tiffany?
That's like Andy Kaufman crap right there. Oh my Lord, this is funny.
I mean, I might be able to do it, man. There might be some hope.
Anybody live close to Jordan can go knock on the.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Twice, we can hear
How'd
you.
you do that?
Hey, I'm back in business, people.
Did you come in through your phone?
I can't see myself.
Yeah,
But we can hear you.
Oh man.
Are you on your phone now, or?
Yeah, but I can't see myself. This is weird.
Tiffany, you know what you sound like? It's almost like we're reliving the original Poltergeist movie where the girl's in the TV.
But we can see her or hear her anyway.
We can hear you, but we can't see you. And you sound very far away, like you're in another dimension. Are you still there? Tiffany, can you hear me?
I think she's trying to figure out how to be seen. We couldn't hear her, now we can't see her. There she is.
Hey!
What's up?
Now I can't. I'm gonna have to watch the chat over here.
It's
Oh,
cool.
Where'd
Well, now-
Jordan go? His thing is off.
His what?
still here. He's still sleeping.
I just see like his logo. I don't see him anymore.
No, we can see him.
Oh really?
I'm sending his wife a message.
Yeah, we gotta get his wife's number.
I hope you don't wake her up.
I'm gonna wake her up. I have to. We gotta save this man's life.
Well, yeah. What if there's a medical emergency or something?
This man's life.
I've been there, man. When I used to do construction work, there was days that I'd be in the middle of things and just fall asleep like that. It's tough. And especially, I mean, Jordan's doing a full-time job and he's doing eBay and Amazon and things like that. And,
YouTube videos.
yeah, and YouTube. And
Now, yeah, see, Sue said now Jordan is gone. She can't see him either.
oh, we see him. I see him.
Huh. That's weird.
All right, here we go. Pray for the best. Hopefully this gets seen.
Oh, God.
Or you know what? I can also call her on Messenger, right?
Or you could call him on Messenger, maybe. Well, but it sounds like he's got his phone on silent though, so it'll just vibrate.
Yeah, his phone's vibrating. Yeah. We can hear it, but he can't. which I find amazing. Like he's tired. That's what it is.
And that's part of what we do. Sometimes, I mean, especially with you guys who are working a job and trying to do all this stuff. I mean, Shane was talking about it on one of their recent shows where it's just, he started bowling just to get away from some stuff, just to have something else to do that was relaxing. And you have to take that time, and it gets tough. And like when my wife and I go on the road, one trip we went 4 days straight, 16-hour days, right? So we start at 8 in the morning and finish 10 or 11 o'clock at night or whatever it was, and get into a hotel room and have enough time to sleep and get out 8 o'clock the next morning and go again, and 30, 40, 50 stores a day just so that we can actually make this work. Now, it pays off in the end because we took 2 weeks off after that and, basked in the glory, and then we went back out and did it again. So reselling isn't a joke. I mean, if you really want to be successful, you have to put in the time and effort. Now, right. Alex is muted.
Yeah, I think he's on the phone with
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Making sure.
All right, so I reached out, but nothing has been seen yet, so I don't know.
She's probably in bed too.
Well,
oh no, man.
Well, we got to meet Jordan's daughter before the live show, and I'm sure that she keeps him very busy. Maybe that's why he's a little tired. She's a sweet girl, though. It was fun to watch her.
Horrible.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Hey, Scott, I'm not whining. I enjoy every minute of being on the road. He said, stop whining, wait until I drive to Vegas and source there and back. 1,798 miles one way.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. You can't see me, people? Oh,
you can see you.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
Oh, but the chat can't see you.
How do I get this to work?
I can see you. And hear you.
I can see myself.
Yeah, but on the actual YouTube feed,
on the feed. I don't ever keep the feed open because it slows my computer down. So I just keep the Hangout and the pop-out chat.
Yeah, she's not on there. All you see is me, Steve.
Oh God, I'm sorry, people.
All right.
Tiffany, we can't see you on the actual YouTube feed.
How many times are we going to get you in here?
Can you hear me now?
Twice.
Yeah, we hear you.
Because you're on your phone and your computer. Oh wait, you muted to one.
There, you just popped up.
Yeah, but now we can't hear you.
All right, for those of you out there that are watching us, we appreciate you for being part of this.
This may go on for 8 hours because we got to wait Jordan to wake up.
The longest live chat since Todd's 1,000th subscriber work show thing that he did, trying to get to 1,000. I'm cool. I'm gonna go to sleep. Like whenever, well, we'll just let it keep going, and you guys could be in the chat talking, staying up. All right, Tiffany. Let me see. You're there, and you are there. All right. Can we hear you though? Say something. No, we can't hear you. I didn't want to have to tell you, but it's the truth. We can't hear you. We can see you. That's what Jordan doing. Yeah, nobody can end the show except for him, man. Sleepy Picker live. That's awesome. Sleepy Picker live. All of you can sleep live.
I could probably drive to Akron. That's what. No, he's in. Yeah, he's near Akron, right, Jordan? Right before he wakes up.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. Do you know where he lives exactly?
I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Find out, but the only person I know that has his address right now
It's
is
Josh.
New Kids on the Block concert.
Ah.
Hey, I can see myself.
This is just awesome. You can see yourself where? Yeah, you're
Like,
on the.
when I look at YouTube on my laptop, I can see myself.
Okay, right now you are on YouTube, and I can hear you, but people, can you hear Tiffany?
I can hear her.
Oh, no, we can't hear you, Tiffany.
You
Oh.
cannot hear me?
No, yeah, I can.
Well, yeah, Harlan has a point. He'll wake up to some great watch minutes on his YouTube channel.
Yep.
This is good for George. Just sleep.
Oh
Leave it go.
Yeah, why don't we do that? If you guys don't mind, before you go to sleep, if Jordan is on the sleeping, why don't you just leave your YouTube just playing? Just plug it into the charger, leave it playing, go to sleep, and we'll get Jordan some really good watch minutes.
He might lose a few subscribers, but
No, share this on Instagram.
You win some, you lose some, you know?
Oh my god.
no, it took me 2.5 years, almost 3 years to get my watch minutes because I didn't do a lot of YouTube videos. But Jordan's gonna get it all in one night.
4,000 watch hours in one night.
Yeah, we should take bets. What do we win if we?
What time? Who can guess within 15 minutes on what time he'll wake up? Is he gonna wake up at 12:45? Is he gonna wake up at 6:45?
I'm gonna guess that he's gonna fall over and hit his head on the desk.
John said, "Is this a live Clue game?"
I can't believe people are still watching it. That's crazy.
God.
Man, you can go on YouTube and do anything live. Alex did it with a candlestick. There you go. 3:04 a.m. It is, well, our time, or because we're in the Eastern, Jordan and I are in the Eastern time zone, so we have to standardize this. What time zone do we have to use? Eastern?
Let's use Eastern because Jordan's on Eastern.
So all your guesses have to be Eastern time zone.
All right, we have
Harlan.
1:30.
We all need to scream at the same time.
Cleveland Picker's in at 1:30. Farming Picker is in at 4:38.
Yes.
Thrifty Ninja 007 is in at 3:04. And Deidre Bell is in at 4 a.m.
Nice.
Sue says 2:45. Oh, wait. He moved.
I can't see him.
You got to get within 15 minutes. All right.
Wake Jordan. No, wake up, Jordan. No. I'm giving 2 minutes.
The closest?
I think we
Nope,
just.
he's not
yell
awake
his
yet.
name.
He went right back to sleep.
All right.
So
All right. Whoever gets the closest, I'm gonna send them. I'll send them a caterpillar.
Hey, can I scan that
that's right.
first to see if I want you to send it to me?
as resellers, that's how we think of everything
I need
nowadays.
to see the UPC. Put it
Right.
near the camera.
That was a false alarm. He didn't really wake up. He almost did.
All right. So Cleveland
Does
Pickers
someone
at
have like an
140.
air horn? You can blow the air horn and it will wake him up.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna guess like 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna get an air horn. I don't think Jordan's diabetic or anything. If he is, that would not be good.
No, he's just tired. He was doing a lot of lawn work.
Oh God.
He's moving, so he's all right.
Narcoleptic picker. All right, so I have
He's
up,
gonna
Jordan.
have a sore neck.
438.
Wake up, Jordan.
You're at 438.
Wake up.
Jordan!
Thrifty
Come on,
Ninja.
you're almost there. I'm gonna guess 5 minutes.
I think he's talking in his sleep. I see his mouth moving.
Well, he's not. We don't hear him though. That's no fair. Oh, he's gonna be so mad at us.
It's not our fault.
Well, we're picking on him a little.
3:04 a.m.
Oh God.
All right. Deidre,
I think
So-
Alex fell asleep too. Look at that.
4 a.m.
We'll all just take a nap.
All right, I'm awake. That was
Okay.
fun.
Sue's at 2:45.
But you guys sleep at the same time.
Flipping Winner at 2:14.
We're taking bets on us. God. We're horrible people. But it's fun. So Sue, we've tried yelling. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. He
At
must be.
2:15.
Yeah, he must be.
Ooh, somebody's ringing the phone.
That was me. I'm sorry. Trying to call him still.
It's not working.
Is Jordan okay?
Hey, let's do it. Let's everybody scream at the same time on the count of three. You
It
guys
looks
ready?
like his headphones are in his ears.
Yeah,
Well-
he's still got his
His
earbuds in.
headphones are not in his ears, but
Let's
No.
let's all scream his name on the count of three. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Jordan!
Didn't work.
We tried. That was a good suggestion by
I wonder if he muted it.
Deidre, I think it was.
No, because we can hear when
Oh,
you
no,
called
Harlan.
him. When you called him, we could hear the phone vibrate, or when you. Oh man, I'm up way past my bedtime. Yeah, don't mess up the bets. No, we're pretty sure he's just real tired, Pat. He did a lot of yard work today.
Yeah, because I zoomed in on his. He's totally knocked out, dude.
Yeah.
He's breathing. He's fine. He does have his his headphones on, but he's just so knocked out and tired that he can't hear us.
Been that way, man. Been that way.
Oh yeah, that was me today. That was me today. I literally, I fell asleep at like 4:30 in the morning. I woke up at 6:30, and I went to the yard sales with Oscar, and we went at it till about 3 in the afternoon. I got home and I knocked out. I couldn't stay up.
This
I'm gonna
is
try
hard.
his.
You're watching a dude in a green shed. I don't know who has a green shed. Somebody buys something from his eBay store. The ching might wake him up.
Hey Nikki, this is Alex. Just hoping that you would get this and wake up Jordan. Just in case you wake up in the morning and you notice Jordan's not there, he's in I believe it's the playroom.
He fell asleep.
Still on the live chat. So if you can wake him up and tell him to exit out of the live chat, he literally monetized already. If this happens by the morning, so let him know, wake him up, be like, "Good morning, you're monetized," and then exit the live chat. But yeah, thank you. Bye, Nikki. That would be so awesome, though.
What time is it? All right, so 12:32. So
Yeah,
far-
his girl's sleeping too. She's totally asleep.
So from what I have, if he were to wake up within the next hour, Cleveland Picker would be winning the Caterpillar.
Oh my god.
The Caterpillar set of dump truck, excavator, wheel loader, bulldozer, and backhoe.
I'm probably not going to stick around much longer. I way past my bedtime myself, but
Yeah,
no.
this is,
I'll stick around because I want to know what time he's gonna wake up.
yeah. I'll
I
hang
feel
out,
like
whatever.
even if the people who place their bets were to leave the chat, I will stay here to see what time Jordan wakes up.
No, Pat, we don't have to call 911. He's asleep. He's tired. I'm looking at him. You know how you can like click on the person's face, on the person's picture in the panel, and it like shows just them. He's literally sleeping.
he's not the first person to fall asleep in a live stream. I forget who it was. It was not that long ago, and I can't remember who it is, but
Yeah, his breathing is normal. He's a very healthy young man.
And Alex has put in a call to his wife and to make sure, but she's sleeping too, so it's not working very well.
Yeah.
But he's been moving around quite a bit, so he's
46 minutes.
46 minutes.
He's going to wake up in 7.5 minutes. Watch.
I'm very susceptible. There's reasons I do the morning show, but I don't do anything in the afternoon on YouTube because I'd fall asleep doing it because I get especially 2:00 in the afternoon, I get so tired that I cannot stay awake. I have to take a nap. So that's why you don't see me doing live streams at that time. I would fall asleep right on it. Oh yeah, Chris from Liquidation, Ohio was the one that fell asleep during a live stream.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Deidre just gave me a great. Let's see if that works. I'm gonna try to hit him up on Messenger.
Yeah.
But just like Alex, or just like Jordan, Chris has a full-time job and he's doing eBay and YouTube and all that stuff. And this stuff gets to be draining after a while, And then you got your household duties, and he was doing yard work today. And
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. You have to wake up early, get to yard sales, then you're running around town trying to find stuff to, sourcing products. And then once you're done with that, you got to list the items, then store them correctly, and or if you're preparing a box to send out to Amazon. And then, in Jordan's case that he's doing YouTube, you need to make sure that you're taking video. You need to edit your video. You upload your video. Once you have comments, you need to respond to comments. It's a lot. And then working a full-time job Monday through Friday, and when you have kids, you have a family. It's a lot. It's one of the reasons why. I mean, I don't do YouTube. I'm with Alex. I work with Alex. Alex does everything, pretty much. Because I go to school now. If school was out of the picture, then I'd be able to do something else. But it's a lot of work.
Even with me, I mean, this is my full-time job, but I put in a lot of hours, and it can get draining. And that's the reality of life. Life can be draining some days, and this is just a visual observation of that.
Yeah, I've seen, people that do this full time, they're nonstop. When they get a lead on a good item.
Oh my God.
We got to around town.
We got a lead, and we got a lead one day, and the next day we were out for 4 days. I mean, that's how you have to do it if you want to be at a certain level. If you want to be at the level that I want to get to, you have to. And you just got to go, and you got to keep going. We haven't had a good sourcing trip in 2 weeks, and we're anxious to get back out and do it again. But it can be very draining because you're out there 16 hours a day, and you're seeing the same exact store 20, 30, 40 times a day when you do it the way that I do it. And it can get very draining. The good thing about the way I do it is my wife is with me. At least she was, and now she's going back to work, which kind of sucks for me. But she can take half the driving, and I can take half the driving, and so it works out a little bit better. But boy, does it get tiring if you're not. I mean, I'm 47, 48 years. I don't even know how old I am. I'm an old guy. So for somebody like me, it's a little bit rough, but I think that Jordan's got several messages from several people now.
Yeah, I've tried him on Instagram, Facebook, personal phone number.
The most stores I've done in one day is 40. But that was, we call it our slash and dash. That's when we know exactly what we want in that store. And there was like 4 or 5 items that we were going to buy. And we just went in, and that's all we went and looked for. The last trip we went on wasn't a slash and dash. It was partly that, but we also had to scan more items and stuff. Everything's a penny at Dollar General. He'll wake up.
Yeah, Harlan said somebody, yo, hey, Jordan, everything's a penny at Dollar General. That would be amazing if he were man.
Oh, he'll be fine.
All right, man, this sucks. I hate it for him. I don't want him to be asleep for him, but I do at the same time. But like, let's get him to bed.
We all age at different rates, Sue. Some people. My mom is 77, I think 70. She's up there, but she could outdo me in a store any day. My wife's mom is the same age as my mom by a couple of months, and same thing. She could outdo me any day. I get tired real quick.
So, what else can we talk about? Like,
no, I was going to ask you now because you were saying, when you're doing 40 stores a day, and then when you go on these 4-day trips sourcing products, and if you do this often, I'm sure that you have a lot of other expenses that you need to take into consideration if you're trying to maintain your business. And I would think that possibly one of the most expensive things is going to be how you get to these stores, meaning your car, that's gas, wear on the tires, oil changes.
Yep.
things like that, right?
Yeah, well, luckily my vehicle gets 35 miles to the gallon, so it's not horrible. But like you said, oil changes, lodging, if you're staying overnight somewhere, food's a big expense, but all that can be, obviously you can write that off, but it still has to be an expense while you're out there. You still have to recover that. So,
Right.
but we tend to stay at, we don't stay at the most fancy, expensive place. We don't have to, we're just there to sleep. So we'll go to a $50 or $45 a night hotel. As long as it's clean, we're fine with it. So we tend to stay at like Super 8s or something like that, which it wasn't nothing fancy.
Down.
For food, a lot of the time we've actually started eating better when we're on the road. We were eating like McDonald's dollar menu stuff, and that is not good. So we decided that we were going to eat correctly while we were on the road. So it's a little bit more of an expense, but we'll be healthier for it, that kind of thing. And then just the wear and tear on your body can be, if you're not used to this, and I had just had shoulder surgery, my back is bad. So sitting in a car for 16 hours a day, getting in and out and getting in and out and getting in and out can really wear on you. That's all it is. You're right, Scott.
Oh my God.
Hey, he moved. Jordan.
You woke up.
I get into when I'm sleeping and when I'm super tired, I will realize that things are going on around me, and I should. Hey, wake up, man! Wake up! Don't fall out of that chair.
Yo,
Don't
Jordan.
you dare fall out of that chair.
Jordan. Yo, hey, you're on live chat, bro. He saw the phone ringing. That's what woke him up. He looked at it, was like, what is this guy?
But you know what? When I'm in that mode, the phone could be ringing, and I'd know it, and I can't even. I know I need to answer it.
Jordan.
Hey, who had 1242? Oh wait,
Okay.
nope. Jordan,
can you
wake
hear?
up. Are you awake, dude?
You all right?
Say something.
Is he awake? No, he's going back to sleep.
No.
Don't do it. Yo, Jordan.
Sat down on the day. He's in that mode that I get into.
Jordan.
What?
You up?
You all right, dude?
Yeah.
You fell asleep live on YouTube. Your watch time hours are great, and you're now monetized. All right.
Back to the
Who
show.
won?
Like 10 by the end of the hour, so like, wide open.
Don't watch this video, Jordan.
Welcome back to the show, man.
All right, so who won?
Cleveland Picker won. He said 130. He was the closest.
All right, Cleveland Picker.
Congratulations.
You all right, Jordan?
I'm gonna send you this.
Man, I got everyone calling me right now.
Dude, you've been sleeping for an hour.
Yeah,
I got Patrick. I got fucking everyone's calling me.
Patrick was very concerned. He wanted to make sure you were all right. All right, you guys can all quit calling Jordan now. We couldn't end the show without you, man.
That's good.
All right, quit calling him.
yeah. Whoever's calling him, don't call him anyways.
Yeah,
please.
Pat almost called 911. He was very concerned.
Cleveland Picker.
He's
Cleveland Picker was the winner.
Calm down.
No, well, you know.
Yo,
Are you okay?
No.
No?
Jordan.
What?
You all right, man?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Right here.
We thought you fell on the floor,
This
dude.
is the best.
We're just going to
live
take this
chat ever.
clip and replay it for you when you're awake.
Dude, you all right, right?
Wait.
Well, you've been sleeping
What?
for an hour, dude. You're still live on YouTube. You know that, right?
Yo, Jordan.
Maybe sleepwalking, guys.
John, you're so right, man. I really hope he does, man. That'd be so awesome.
He needs to end the video. Jordan, you there?
Yo, Jordan.
I think he went to go to the bathroom or something. I don't think he realizes he's still alive. He may have.
Yeah.
Yo, Jordan, if you're still there, we're still in a live chat, and we need your assistance.
Jordan, first viral video is going to be of you sleeping.
Hey, whatever works.
Frontier Flipper said, share this video. Rename this Picker Passes Out live on YouTube. Put it here.
Yep.
I don't think he passed out.
Hey, you know what? This will show people what it really takes to be a reseller. I mean, showing on your own show. Oh, what's him?
Yo, Jordan. Oh, man.
I kind
Yo,
of agree.
Jordan, wake up, man.
I think he went to the floor.
Yeah, I think he's pretty sure he's on the floor.
Yeah, I don't think he was fully awake. So
It's like I'm trying not to laugh, but honestly, I'm just right? But I can't stop helping reading the chat and so
Oh,
There he is.
there he goes.
you all right? What's up, man? He's a gangster. That's a gangster right there. That's a gangster right there.
We all thought you fell on the floor or some shit.
Hey, Jordan.
Jesus Christ, you called me 9 times?
You were sleeping, man. We're trying to wake you up. We're still in a live chat. We need to end it.
Yeah, we're still in a live chat, dude.
Yo, Jordan, you are the man.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, we're gonna cut this video because it looks like you fell on the floor. Now you're gonna have a viral video.
Yeah, dude. That's gonna be awesome.
All right.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna read the best suggestion yet. That said, rename this Picker Passes Out live on YouTube and cut it here. Viral video.
You got this, man. You got this.
That was another
Hey,
good
so
one.
Pat D's already called 911. So
He was going
Yeah.
to. He really was.
we'll see you next week, everybody. We'll go around and give final words. And
I like how you just pick up the show where you left off.
Oh,
Anybody want to leave some
All right.
final words?
Yes, don't fall asleep live on YouTube. By the way, congratulations, Cleveland Picker. You picked closest to the time he woke up. So I guess you're getting some toys.
I'm sending you caterpillars.
This, I have to honestly say that this was the most exciting,
And boring.
successful, entertaining live chat that we've had so far. It just keeps getting better and better every single week. Last week we had 9 people on the panel. This week we had people sleeping. I mean, this is crazy. You don't know what's gonna happen next week. You guys gotta stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, the bell so y'all can be a part of this. Because next week, who knows what happens? You know, maybe one of us will go skydiving and jump out of an airplane.
Not me.
Yep, not me.
It'll be Steve, most likely.
Jesus.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, we're worried about you falling asleep again. So we might need
All right, dude. So you want to cut this live chat and go to bed, dude? Before you fall asleep again?
I do have some final word. There is somebody in this community all the time looking out for somebody else. Pat Keys was ready to call 911. He had your address Googled, and he was ready to go. So somebody will help you out if something happens. You got yourself covered. So.
Thank you, Pat Dees. That's what's up, man.
Thanks, Pat. I was just peeing. It's cool though.
Yeah,
Hey, I called that.
It was all right, but the fact that Pat was concerned, man, that's
great.
we're all concerned, but it was at the same time we're having fun, man. It was
Oh,
funny.
don't watch it back. I'm just saying.
No, definitely watch it back. I called your wife.
Yeah, I know. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh my God. My phone was in here already going off. I was like, get back, and there's 9 missed calls. Jesus.
We were concerned, man.
Hey, you know how we should? Yeah, you know what? John gave a good one. I think we should all end this while we all just like fall asleep real quick at the same time. We'll fall asleep, pretend we're asleep, and then Jordan, you just click the goodbye button. What do you think?
Hey, whatever.
Oh, I think we need to put this to bed.
Yeah.
See what I mean? See what I did there?
All right, everybody.
Good night.
Catch you next week.
Good night.